Welcome back to Infinite Novel Audiobooks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share chapter 326, Spirit Bone first, then Spirit Ring. Douluo Yan had absorbed the most energy, and the more energy there was to digest, the longer it took. Thus, she was the last to wake up. She slowly opened her eyes atop the mummified back of the deep-sea demon whale, a look of profound realization, as if a lifetime had passed, appearing on her face. It hadn't been easy. This was Douluo Yan's first time using the devouring ability of her 8 spider lances, and the results far exceeded her expectations. After devouring the flesh and blood energy of the deep-sea demon whale, Douluo Yan's spirit power accumulation was no less than that of a rank 95 super Douluo. Furthermore, the 8 spider lances, which had already evolved into a 100,000-year spirit bone, evolved once more into a million-year spirit bone, reaching the level of a prototype divine artifact. If I had developed the devouring ability of the 8 spider lances earlier and devoured large amounts of spirit beast flesh and blood, would I have already become a top-tier powerhouse at rank 98, or even rank 99? This thought suddenly burst into Douluo Yan's mind. But in the next moment, Douluo Yan was startled by her own crazy thought. Using the mass devouring of spirit beast flesh to rapidly increase one's cultivation, wasn't that exactly like Tang San, that fallen spirit master from the Spirit Master competition? Once that door was opened, starting with devouring spirit beast flesh, she feared she would eventually move on to devouring humans. Douluo Yan was unwilling to become like that, and immediately extinguished the crazy thought in her heart. Using the devouring ability of the 8 spider lances once in a while was fine, but if she couldn't resist its temptation, her true heart would eventually be devoured by it. Douluo Yan stood up and looked above the mummified corpse of the deep-sea demon whale, where a blood-red spirit ring with 6 golden patterns was floating. It was the 680,000-year spirit ring of the deep-sea demon whale. Douluo Yan's heart raced with excitement. As long as she absorbed this spirit ring, she could become a titled Douluo and immediately jump to being one of the best among them. She didn't rashly absorb the spirit ring, but first looked toward Chen's position. Chen, I'm going to start absorbing the spirit ring. I'll leave the role of protector to you. Chen waved at her and said with a smile, "With me here, nothing will happen to you. Also, to ensure the success rate of absorbing the spirit ring, I suggest you absorb that 680,000-year spirit bone first. There is no danger in absorbing a spirit bone, and it will greatly strengthen your body. After absorbing the spirit bone, then come to absorb the spirit ring. It will increase your success rate by at least 30%. Then use the sea god's light to suppress the restless energy of the spirit ring. At that point, there will be no possibility of failure." Douluo Yan was tempted by his words, but she quickly realized a key issue. Even if there's no danger, absorbing a spirit bone isn't something that can be finished in a day or two, but this spirit ring will dissipate into the world on its own after 2 hours. Chen raised an eyebrow and spoke as if it were a matter of course. "With me here, don't worry about those things. As long as I don't want this spirit ring to dissipate, it won't." Douluo Yan's heart settled. Right, with Chen, a powerhouse at the level of a divinity, sealing a spirit ring and preventing it from dissipating was a simple matter. Then she would absorb the spirit bone first. Sword spine. Douluo Yan leapt into the air, rotated 360 degrees, and activated her left leg spirit bone skill. Her left leg transformed into a sword spine, slashing down furiously onto the corpse of the deep-sea demon whale. Crack, crack. In an instant, the mummified corpse was split in two. Inside, a complete torso bone, including the spine and 24 ribs, could be seen emitting a dense purple light. Douluo Yan reached out, and the torso bone flew toward her, turning into a ball of dazzling purple energy that enveloped her body. The purple energy seeped into Douluo Yan's skin and flesh like flowing water, finally merging with her spine and 24 ribs. The process was agonizing. As the purple energy fused into her spine and ribs, Douluo Yan felt both pain and itching, as if countless tiny insects were crawling inside her torso. That bone-deep pain and itching made Douluo Yan restless, her beautiful features contorted in a grimace. "Endure it, my goal is to become a god. Even if absorbing this spirit bone kills me with pain or itching, I absolutely cannot give up." With this conviction, Douluo Yan gritted her teeth and persevered. Even though her delicate body trembled slightly from the pain and itching, she had no thought of giving up. This was a 680,000-year spirit bone. It wasn't something that could be absorbed in a short time. While Douluo Yan was absorbing the spirit bone, Xiao Wu's absorption of the god-bestowed spirit ring and Zhu Zhuqing's condensation of her innate spirit ring had both reached their most critical moments. Chen could see that both Xiao Wu's and Zhu Zhuqing's bodies were trembling violently. Under the terrifying pressure, their skin had turned completely red, like cooked prawns, so red it looked like it might bleed. Creak, creak. Their bones and meridians had reached their limits, and creaking sounds constantly emanated from within their bodies. Chen looked from Douluo Yan to Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing. His divine thoughts surrounded the three women. If any abnormality occurred, he could take control of the situation immediately. What was amazing was that although the process of absorbing the spirit rings and spirit bone was not easy, none of the three women gave up halfway, nor did they cry out in pain or exhaustion. Heaven does not betray those who persevere. Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing were the first to succeed. Around their bodies, circles of spirit rings pulsated up and down, 3 purple, 3 black, and 1 red. Through their gritted teeth perseverance, their 7th spirit ring had actually reached the level of a 100,000-year spirit ring. A second before their bodies were about to collapse, Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing finally opened their eyes and woke up. Even though sweat poured down their foreheads, their eyes were bloodshot, and they were gasping for breath. As soon as they saw that blood-red 7th spirit ring, they felt it was all worth it. Such long-term persistence had finally not been in vain. Chen flashed to their side in an instant, pressing his hands on their shoulders and injecting vibrant life divine power into their bodies to help them recover quickly. Xiao Wu Zhuqing, well done. You've both obtained a 100,000-year spirit ring for your 7th spirit ring. You've really impressed me. The burning pain inside Xiao Wu's body was rapidly diminishing and fading under the nourishment of the life divine power. She raised her head proudly. Boss Chen, I raised this god-bestowed spirit ring to the 100,000-year level, which directly caused my spirit power to break through to rank 74. I believe that as long as I cultivate diligently, I'll soon be able to break through to rank 80, absorb an 8th spirit ring, and become a spirit Douluo. I, Xiao Wu, don't want to always be a mere vase or an appendage. I am determined to become your right hand. Beside her, Zhu Zhuqing's face was pale, and she was still a bit weak, but she said firmly at this time, Me too, my spirit power has also reached rank 74. Moreover, because my 7th spirit ring is an innate spirit ring fused with the dark demonic evil god Tiger's origin, once I activate my martial soul avatar, I can become an incarnation of the dark demonic evil god Tiger. Not only will the power of my first 6 spirit abilities increase by 200%, but I can even use all the abilities of the dark demonic evil god Tiger. Once my body recovers, I have 100% confidence in taking on a titled Douluo in a duel. Chen was instantly amazed. This is impressive. If Zhu Zhuqing could use the skills of the dark demonic evil god Tiger after activating her martial soul avatar, an ordinary titled Douluo really wouldn't be her match. Furthermore, if Zhu Zhuqing could use the life and death arena, then even a rank 99 super Douluo might be killed by her. This time, Zhu Zhuqing had truly soared to the heavens. Chapter 327, Rank 97. An unknown amount of time passed, so long that Douluo Yan felt her mind go numb, before the itching and painful sensation in her body finally receded like the tide. What followed was a sense of power radiating from her very bones. That feeling of continuous, surging strength left Douluo Yan extremely satisfied. She opened her long, narrow, beautiful eyes, which shimmered with the light of surprise and joy. As expected of a 680,000-year spirit bone, the improvement it brought her was simply beyond imagination. Although her spirit power was still stuck at rank 90, her spirit power fluctuations had taken a step further, reaching the level of a rank 96 super Douluo. More importantly was the improvement in her physical fitness. Douluo Yan merely clenched her fist and could feel the overwhelming power within her body. After fusing with the deep-sea demon whale torso spirit bone, her body seemed to have gained a central support. The left arm bone, right arm bone, left leg bone, right leg bone, skull bone, and external spirit bone she already possessed were all linked together by the power of the torso spirit bone. Previously, because she lacked a torso spirit bone, her most important part, her torso, could not compare to her limbs in terms of strength. In intense battles, there would always be a slight sense of incoordination. But it was different now. After absorbing the torso spirit bone, the spine connected the skull bone above, the left and right arm bones on the sides, the left and right leg bones below, and the external spirit bone at the back. These scattered spirit bones, with the support of the torso spirit bone, formed a complete whole, causing Du Guyan's physical fitness to increase geometrically. Previously, Du Guyan had felt a bit apprehensive in her heart about absorbing a 680,000-year spirit ring. But now Du Guyan had 100% confidence that she could absorb the 680,000-year spirit ring. She looked up and saw that the blood-red spirit ring with 6 golden patterns was still floating above the dried corpse, not dissipating into the world with the passage of time. Under the confinement of Lu Chen's divine force, the energy of the spirit ring was tightly locked within it. Du Guyan clenched her right hand into a fist, her eyes shining with the light of self-confidence, and she nodded with a firm expression. "I will definitely succeed in absorbing it." Before she began absorbing the spirit ring, Du Guyan turned to look in Lu Chen's direction and saw Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuqing standing beside him. "Lu Chen, I'm going to start absorbing the spirit ring." "Zyro Wu, Zhuqing, you both succeeded in absorbing your spirit rings. Congratulations." "Now I'm starting too, wait for my good news." Lu Chen had a smile on his face. "Yan Yan, I've released the restriction on the spirit ring. Get ready and begin." Zyro Wu cupped her hands around her mouth like a megaphone. "Yan Yan, good luck, we all believe you can do it." Zhu Zhuqing also cheered for Du Guyan. "Yan Yan, we will act as your protectors until you successfully absorb the spirit ring." With the encouragement of the three, Du Guyan was full of confidence. With a thought, she operated her meditation method and sent out a summons to that blood-red spirit ring. The blood-red spirit ring trembled slightly and floated toward Du Guyan, encircling her body and rapidly shrinking before merging into her. Booms boom! Fierce energy, like a volcanic eruption, spread through Du Guyan's body. Under the impact of that fierce energy, Du Guyan let out a muffled groan of pain. It was different from absorbing a spirit bone. Although the energy of a spirit bone was also massive, it was like a trickling stream, merging into the spine and 24 ribs bit by bit, causing pain and itching, but not to the point of overwhelming the body. But the energy in this spirit ring was like a flood that had burst a dam. The first wave of energy impact made Du Guyan's body tremble. Her meridians, bones, flesh, and internal organs all felt a tearing pain. This was only because she had absorbed the torso spirit bone and integrated the power of all her spirit bones, increasing her physical fitness many times over, that she could withstand this first wave of energy impact. Otherwise, this 680,000-year vicious beast spirit ring would be enough to make any titled Douluo explode and die. Du Guyan would have been heavily injured if not killed. Sea God's light. Du Guyan gritted her teeth, and the blue-gold sea god trident brand on her forehead released a blue-gold light. The light enveloped her, appearing holy, bright, vast, and immense, as if it could suppress all evil and settle all chaos. The spirit ring energy that was originally rampaging wildly actually turned from a man-eating tiger into a docile kitten under the illumination of the sea god's light. This spirit ring came from the deep-sea demon whale. As a sea spirit beast, the deep-sea demon whale had no resistance against the sea god's light. After a layer of reins was placed on the arrogant and violent spirit ring energy by the sea god's light, it restrained its temper. Following Du Guyan's will, it circulated through her meridians in cycles and finally gathered in her danshan, fusing with her own spirit power. In that instant, the bottleneck that had been confining Du Guyan was completely burst open. Her spirit power also broke through the limit of rank 90. Rank 91. Rank 92. Rank 93. Rank 94. Rank 95. Rank 96. Du Guyan's spirit power climbed steadily, breaking through to the rank 96 level in a short period of time. This wasn't over yet. As Du Guyan absorbed the spirit ring's energy, her spirit power was still growing at high speed, making a sprint toward rank 97. Seeing this scene, Lu Chen felt reassured. Du Guyan's absorption of the spirit ring had entered the right track, the rest could be left to time. Waiting from day to night, and then from night to day, after a full day and night of absorption, the surging spirit power on Douluo Yan's body gradually stabilized, eventually settling at rank 97. Having rank 97 Super Douluo spirit power immediately upon ascending to title Douluo, if this were to spread to the Douluo Continent, who knows how many people would be so shocked they couldn't close their mouths. Around Douluo Yan's body, 9 spirit rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 3 black and 2 red, pulsated up and down. That 9th spirit ring had a total of 7 golden patterns, and the terrifying spirit power pressure it erupted caused the surrounding air to solidify, while waves rose in the seawater, forming circles of tides that spread outward. For some unknown reason, that 9th spirit ring, which originally had only 6 golden patterns, actually evolved a 7th golden pattern after being absorbed by Douluo Yan. That was the hallmark of a 700,000-year vicious beast spirit ring. Against the backdrop of that blood-red light, Douluo Yan's eyelashes trembled slightly as she slowly opened her eyes, her joy beyond measure. She leapt up and threw herself into Lu Chen's arms like a swallow returning to the woods, telling him of her joy. Lu Chen, absorbing the deep-sea demon whale's spirit ring and spirit bone this time, brought me too much of an improvement. I broke through to rank 97 spirit power. Also inside my Danshan, a green pearl actually condensed, just like Grandpa's Dan pearl. This Dan pearl contains more than half of my spirit power. My massive spirit power was compressed into a tiny Dan pearl, making my spirit power solidified to a terrifying degree. In the future, when I use any spirit ability, the power can be doubled and the consumption halved. Furthermore, I also had an awakening of a domain, the Jade Phosphorus domain. After the Jade Phosphorus domain combined with the 8 Spider Lance's devouring ability, it can evolve a black hole within the domain. Any enemy who falls into the black hole cannot escape the fate of having their spirit power devoured. Lu Chen was also happy for Douluo Yan. Not bad, besides the 4 skills brought by the spirit ring and spirit bone, you even awakened a domain ability. Yan, although you are rank 97, I believe you would have no problem fighting a rank 98. This deep sea trip can be considered to have ended in perfection. Come, let's return to Sea God Island and continue participating in the unfinished trials, passing all the remaining trials in one go. Chapter 328, Challenging High Priestess Bo Saixi. Sea God Island, don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to Infinite Novel audiobooks. After returning here, Lu Chen and the other 3 still had to pay attention to their appearance, so they all dressed neatly. Previously on the boat, Lu Chen had only worn a pair of swimming trunks, while Douluo Yan, Xiao Wu, and Zhu Zhuqing each wore only cool bikinis. Now Lu Chen was dressed in a blue athletic outfit, which complemented his tall and slender figure. Standing there, he possessed a charm that made it impossible for one to look away. Douluo Yan wore a green dress with a ribbon tied around her waist, fully revealing her water snake-like slender waist. Her snow-white arms and smooth calves were exposed to the air, reflecting light like ivory jade, though it was a pity her jade-like feet were hidden inside high heels. Xiao Wu wore a pink jacket on her upper body and white leggings on her lower body. Her face was full of collagen, her cheeks rosy like red apples that made one want to take a bite, and a scorpion braid hung down to her ankles. She was still as full of youthful vitality as when she was younger. Though she wasn't old now either, Xiao Wu was only 15 years old. Zhu Zhuqing was dressed in black leather clothes and pants, which showcased her good figure to the fullest. Her beautiful face was cold, like an eternal iceberg, exuding an indifference that kept people thousands of miles away, and only when she occasionally looked at Lu Chen would all that coldness melt like winter snow meeting the warm sun. Zhu Zhuqing's indifference was for the outside world. For Lu Chen, she was only as gentle as water. The 4 returned to Sea God Island, and High Priestess Bo Saixi rushed over immediately. A polite smile hung on her face, but as her gaze swept over Douluo Yan, Xiao Wu, and Zhu Zhuqing, the smile on her face vanished, leaving only a sense of shock. As a super Douluo, High Priestess Bo Saixi's perception was very keen. The spirit power fluctuations emanating from Douluo Yan, Xiao Wu, and Zhu Zhuqing were worlds apart compared to before. Unbelievable, only a few days have passed, yet your spirit power has actually had another huge breakthrough. Such talent is simply unheard of. I have lived for over 100 years, yet I have never seen anyone whose cultivation speed could be as fast as yours. High Priestess Bo Saixi sighed with emotion. Seeing High Priestess Bo Saixi's arrival, Lu Chen went straight to the point and said loudly, High Priestess, now that we've returned, we plan to pass all the subsequent trials in one go. You may begin. Hearing this, High Priestess Bo Seixi did not refuse. She was even quite happy. No problem, then we shall begin your 6th trial now. Miss Dugu, Miss Zyro Wu, Miss Yuking, your 6th trial is to last for the duration of 1 stick of incense in my hands. While speaking, High Priestess Bo Seixi flew out, turning into a red glow as she streaked over the ocean. She summoned her sea god spirit. Amidst the blue-gold light, a tall and majestic illusory figure wearing golden battle armor and holding a golden trident emerged from behind her. High Priestess Bo Seixi pointed her finger, and the sea god phantom behind her burst with brilliant light. Under that radiance, the ocean within a 1,000-meter radius became still, and the originally shimmering sea surface actually condensed into a jelly-like substance. High Priestess Bo Seixi flicked her wrist and produced a stick of incense from somewhere. With a pinch of her delicate hand, the incense began to burn, drifting with wisps of green smoke. With another flick of her wrist, that stick of incense was projected onto the shore, piercing into a coconut tree. High Priestess Bo Seixi's gaze swept over Dugu Yan, Zyro Wu, and Zhu Zhuking. Now the trial begins. This ocean is the best battlefield. Exert your strength to your heart's content. As long as you can last for the duration of 1 stick of incense, you will be considered to have passed the trial. Dugu Yan, Zyro Wu, and Zhu Zhuking were all eager to try. They had just improved their strength, and now was the time for them to show what they could do. Dugu Yan was the first to fly out. In midair, she completed her martial soul possession. Green scales grew out, interlocking to form a set of dragon-scale battle armor, exuding a wild and domineering aura. 2 yellow, 2 purple, 3 black, and 2 red, 9 spirit rings rose up, and the pressure of the spirit power spreading out made even High Priestess Bo Seixi look askance. Jade Phosphorus Destruction Beam. Dugu Yan struck first, spitting out a grey-black corrosive beam of light from her mouth. High Priestess Bo Seixi was also greatly shocked to see Dugu Yan's 9th spirit ring with 7 golden patterns, but she quickly snapped out of it. Facing the attack, her figure twisted, and she flashed 10 meters away like a phantom, dodging the corrosive beam. Then with a flash, she rushed towards Dugu Yan and raised her palm. On that pale white palm, a layer of energy crystals was actually shining. Dugu Yan retreated rapidly, but facing the shadow-like High Priestess Bo Seixi, her dodging was completely ineffective. Green Phosphorus Dragon Armor Shield. At the critical moment, green light erupted from within Dugu Yan, condensing into a green shield around her body. Parche. High Priestess Bo Seixi struck with a palm, and the green shield became precarious, cracking with web-like fissures. At the same time, under the immense force, Dugu Yan fell towards the sea surface like a meteor, landing on the jelly-like sea surface and bouncing up and down. Dugu Yan was surprised to find that this jelly-like sea surface completely neutralized the force on her body, so there was no need to worry about being injured. High Priestess Bo Seixi is actually quite a good person. Fearing she might hurt Dugu Yan, Zyro Wu, and Zhu Zhuking, she had turned the ocean into this jelly-like cushion beforehand. No matter how powerful the attack received, as long as they landed on this cushion, the force would be completely neutralized. Dugu Yan looked up at High Priestess Bo Seixi again. Is this the prowess of a rank 99 Super Douluo? Without using any spirit ability, just a light palm strike almost shattered my green phosphorus dragon armor shield. Never mind, keep going, I will never give up easily. Dugu Yan soared into the air once more, and without any hesitation, she activated her martial soul avatar. Amidst bursts of dragon roars, she transformed into a 70-meter-long jade phosphorus great dragon. A look of satisfaction flashed in High Priestess Bo Seixi's eyes. Commendable courage. However, your control over spirit power is a bit too crude. It seems you cannot yet perfectly control your skyrocketing spirit power. I'll polish it for you then. If you can't perfectly control your skyrocketing spirit power, wanting to become a god will be very difficult. Then High Priestess Bo Seixi came tearing through the air, striking with a palm as if incorporating the power of heaven and earth into it. Boom! A loud explosion. The jade phosphorus great dragon that Dugu Yan had transformed into was once again sent flying. This huge gap in strength made Dugu Yan, who had been a bit smug after breaking through to rank 97, recognize her true self once more. Following what High Priestess Bo Seixi said, she no longer blindly charged forward, but instead strengthened her control over her spirit power, striving not to waste a single bit of it. Furthermore, this trial wasn't just testing Du Guyan alone. Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing both summoned their spirits as well, with 7 spirit rings, 3 purple, 3 black and 1 red, rising beneath their feet. Xiao Wu gave a soft shout. "Zhuqing, let's go." Zhu Zhuqing nodded heavily. "Okay." Zhu Zhuqing picked up Xiao Wu, flapped a pair of black wings, and soared into the sky like a bolt of black lightning, streaking towards High Priestess Bo Seixi's position. Chapter 329, Guidance. "Zhuqing," Xiao Wu called out. "Understood." Zhu Zhuqing immediately understood the signal, exerting force with her hands to fling Xiao Wu out. Tossed into midair, a flash of cunning appeared in Xiao Wu's eyes as she used a Tridan True combo sequence. Aurora Blade. 3rd Spirit Ability, Teleportation. 4th Spirit Ability, Paragon Golden Body. Xiao Wu's entire left arm erupted with a brilliant radiance under the injection of spirit power, transforming into a blazing white blade of light. Immediately following a flash of light, Xiao Wu vanished from her original position. When she reappeared, Xiao Wu had already arrived behind High Priestess Bo Seixi, thrusting the Aurora Blade in her hand toward Bo Seixi's back. Even an average titled Douluo might not necessarily be able to guard against this combo sequence of Xiao Wu's. But Bo Seixi was a super Douluo. Her perception was incredibly keen. She had long ago sensed the subtle spatial fluctuations. Therefore, facing Xiao Wu's backstab, a faint smile curled on Bo Seixi's lips. Her figure shifted 1 meter to the right out of thin air, as if she had also used teleportation, causing Xiao Wu's strike to hit nothing but air. "Miss Xiao Wu, this sequence of yours works on my incompetent subordinates, but against a super Douluo like me, it cannot have any effect. Although the spatial fluctuations caused by your teleportation are subtle, they cannot hide from a super Douluo's perception." As her voice fell, Bo Seixi struck out with a palm. Her palm was wrapped in a layer of energy crystals, and with a boom, the strike shattered the Paragon Golden Body with countless cracks. Although Xiao Wu took no direct damage, she couldn't help but let out a muffled groan under the violent vibration. Her body fell toward the sea below like a glowing meteor. "Xiao Wu!" Zhu Zhuqing cried out in alarm, seeing that Xiao Wu's attack had not only failed to take effect, but had resulted in her being sent flying instantly. She raised her vigilance toward Bo Seixi to the maximum. A super Douluo was indeed terrifyingly powerful. "Source of darkness. Nether possession. Nether shadow piercing strike." Zhu Zhuqing's delicate body erupted with black light. Wrapped in that black light, she transformed into a dark shadow, turning substance into void as she swept toward Bo Seixi. Seeing this, the indifferent smile on Bo Seixi's face never faded. "This move is the same, it's useless against me. Even if turning your body into energy can reduce physical damage by 100%, how will you resist my highly compressed energy?" Bo Seixi stuck to her old method, not using any spirit abilities. She simply struck out with a palm, and within her palm was a layer of highly compressed energy crystals. Zhu Zhuqing's previously invincible, nether shadow piercing strike was directly sent flying under the impact of that energy crystal layer. "HMPH." Zhu Zhuqing let out a pained groan. Since she had obtained the nether shadow piercing strike skill, this was the first time it had been broken. It wasn't a suppression of attributes, but a crushing difference in energy levels. The Great Tao is simple. The higher the cultivation, the more solid the energy level becomes. Regardless of any special spirit ability, at its core, it is all about the application of energy. As a rank 99 super Douluo, Bo Seixi's spirit power had already been compressed to the extreme, only a thin line away from divine force. Therefore, without relying on any spirit ability, just by relying on her application of spirit power, she could break the vast majority of those seemingly unsolvable spirit abilities. "Zroar!" The jade phosphorus great dragon let out a long dragon roar. "Xiao Wu Zhuqing, let's unite." Moreover, the High Priestess has no ill will toward us at all. Being able to battle a super Douluo is a great opportunity to improve our combat experience. Don't treat this as just a trial, we must hone our control over spirit power in battle. As long as we can perfectly control our own spirit power, even if we are no match for the High Priestess, contending with her briefly will certainly be no problem. Hearing this, Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuqing each gave a stubborn, unyielding response. They did not feel discouraged by their recent failure. Instead, they stood together with Du Guyan, their battle intent surging. Zyro Wu clenched her pink fists. Yan Yan is right. As long as we continuously improve ourselves in battle, that will be our greatest harvest from the trial. Zhu Zhuqing expressed her response through action. Nether Avatar. Zra. A tiger's roar shook the heavens as black light surged, and the pressure of spirit power spread out like ripples. Zhu Zhuqing, having unleashed her martial soul avatar, transformed into a 15-meter-long pitch-black giant tiger. Sprint. The sprint skill was an ability belonging to the dark demonic evil god tiger. In her martial soul avatar state, Zhu Zhuqing could use all the abilities of the dark demonic evil god tiger. The pitch-black giant tiger flashed out, its linear speed comparable to teleportation, arriving before Bo Seixi's eyes in the blink of an eye. Zyro Wu was not to be outdone either. Watch my teleportation, Paragon Golden Body, an 8-stage burst kill. With a flash of light, Zyro Wu teleported behind Bo Seixi, her body surrounded by a layer of golden protective light, as her powerful long legs wrapped toward Bo Seixi's neck. Besides the pincer attack from Zhu Zhuqing and Zyro Wu, Du Guyan also unleashed her 8th spirit ability. Dragon Emperor Heterodimension. Bo Seixi's eyes flickered as her hands drew a circle in front of her. A ring of energy instantly formed and expanded, carrying an unrivaled might that sent both Zhu Zhuqing and Zyro Wu flying back. After shaking off Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuqing, Bo Seixi's figure flickered repeatedly as she swept toward Du Guyan. The Dragon Emperor Heterodimension, a 100,000-year spirit ability, was still capable of causing damage to Bo Seixi. Thus, Bo Seixi took it very seriously. Before that black hole space could fully form, she pointed a finger. As if peeling silk from a cocoon, she tore through the weak point of the black hole space, and the not yet formed black hole space exploded with a bang. With her spirit ability broken, Du Guyan suffered a backlash. Her internal blood and Kai churned, forcing a muffled groan from her. Bo Seixi intentionally reminded her. Spirit abilities like this, that require a long charge time, must be used with caution when facing a truly powerful opponent. Because a truly powerful person will find an opportunity to break your spirit ability before it can even form. Even with her spirit ability broken, the jade phosphorus great dragon still had teeth and claws. She opened her mouth and lunged to bite Bo Seixi. Bo Seixi gave guidance while dodging. Your movements must be clean and agile. You must strike accurately and hit the vital points. Do not have so many redundant movements. In a truly fierce battle, any redundant movement will become your flaw. Soon Zhu Zhuqing and Zyro Wu caught up as well. Under the combined pincer attack of the three women, Bo Seixi remained at ease. As a rank 99 super Douluo, she had too many things worth learning from. Meanwhile, on the shore, Chen had been watching this battle the whole time. Bo Seixi indeed had no intention of making things difficult for the three women. Throughout the battle, she had been guiding them, wishing she could pass on all of her life's experience to them. Rather than calling this a trial, it was more like a teaching session. But this teaching session, after all, only lasted for the duration of one stick of incense. When that stick of incense burned out, the marks on the foreheads of Zyro Wu, Zhu Zhuqing, and Du Guyan released waves of burning heat, followed by a majestic voice. Top Tier 7 Trials, 6th Trial, Challenge High Priestess Bo Seixi, completed. Reward Spirit Power increased by 1 rank, Spirit Ring Age increased by 2,000 years. Top Tier 7 Trials, 6th Trial, Challenge High Priestess Bo Seixi, completed. Reward Spirit Power increased by 1 rank, Spirit Ring Age increased by 2,000 years. Sea God 9 Trials, 6th Trial, Challenge High Priestess Bo Seixi, completed. Reward Spirit Power increased by 2 ranks, Sea God Affinity increased by 15%. The three women were all somewhat dazed. They had passed the trial just like that. In the battle just now, under Bo Seixi's guidance, their strength had improved significantly. When the trial ended, Du Guyan, Zyro Wu, and Zhu Zhuqing all expressed their heartfelt gratitude to Bo Seixi. Thank you for your guidance, High Priestess. We are infinitely grateful. Bo Saixi nodded with a smile. Your cultivation has improved too quickly, making it difficult for you to perfectly control that skyrocketing spirit power. In such a short time, the help I can give you is limited. In the future, you must guard against arrogance and impetuosity, and earnestly polish your spirit power. This will bring you tangible benefits later on. Hearing Bo Saixi's final guidance, Zyro Wu, Zhu, and Dugu Yan all nodded solemnly in agreement. Chapter 330, The Special 7th Trial. The trial ended, and Lu Chen drifted over. His gaze swept across Dugu Yan, Zyro Wu, and Zhu before turning to Bo Saixi. My thanks to the High Priestess for the guidance you've given my girlfriends. Bo Saixi nodded with a smile. You are too polite, my lord. Miss Dugu is the successor of the Sea God, while Miss Zyro Wu and Miss Yuking are both successors to my position as High Priestess. Providing them with guidance is my duty as the High Priestess. While the two were speaking, Dugu Yan, Zyro Wu, and Zhu were seizing the moment to absorb the spirit power rewards they had obtained after passing the trial. The fluctuations of spirit power from the three women were extremely intense, especially from Dugu Yan. Originally at rank 97, she leaped directly to rank 99 after absorbing the 2-rank spirit power reward. Rank 99, a super Douluo. Aside from Lu Chen, the youngest super Douluo in the history of the Douluo Continent, was born. A surging pressure of spirit power spread out, vibrating through the void realm and stirring up waves of air that even affected Zyro Wu and Zhu, who were also absorbing their rewards. Seeing this, Lu Chen snapped his fingers. Instantly, all the commotion vanished into thin air, as if it had never existed. Under these conditions of mutual non-interference, Zyro Wu and Zhu were the first to wake up. Their respective spirit power had made a breakthrough from rank 74 to rank 75. Upon waking, Zyro Wu and Zhu showed no surprise at their increased spirit power. Instead, their cheeks flushed a deep crimson, looking like ripe red apples. Zyro Wu and Zhu looked at each other. Zyro Wu saw Zhu bright red cheeks. Zhu, could it be that yours is also? Zhu nodded, her face flushing red. We both have the top tier 7 trials. The 7th trial should be exactly the same for both of us. Lu Chen was completely confused by what he was hearing. Zyro Wu, Zhu, what are you talking about? Why are your faces so red, and what exactly is the 7th trial? Zyro Wu looked at Lu Chen with a mix of shyness and boldness, her pink eyes full of heat, as she let out a little giggle. Boss Lu Chen, after completing the 6th trial, we received the content for the 7th trial, to kiss Lu Chen for more than 10 minutes. Hee, Boss Lu Chen, you wouldn't want to see us fail the 7th trial and miss out on the rewards, would you? Since it's a trial arranged by the Sea God, we have no choice but to comply. As she spoke, Zyro Wu bent her legs slightly and leaped forward, pouncing into Lu Chen's embrace. Lu Chen raised his arms and caught the pouncing Zyro Wu, not letting her miss her mark. However, he was secretly grumbling in his heart. That old geezer Sea God, what's with this 7th trial he's arranged? Arranging for Zyro Wu and Zhu to kiss me for over 10 minutes to pass and get the rewards. Is he trying to get on my good side? This old geezer is quite shrewd. 2 pink hearts lit up in Zyro Wu's eyes. She wrapped her arms around Lu Chen's neck and her legs around his waist before pressing her warm lips against his. The 7th trial of the top tier 7 trials begin. Meanwhile, Zhu had also stepped up to Lu Chen to wait her turn. Her cheeks were crimson and her eyes held a hint of shyness, but more than that, they held anticipation. Compared to the previous 6 trials, this final 7th trial was simply as easy as could be. Watching this scene, High Priestess Bo Saixi felt the filter she had for the Sea God shatter completely. How could the majestic and righteous Lord Sea God in her heart set such a ridiculous trial? Kissing someone for over 10 minutes, was this a trial set on purpose, or was it set by mistake? Not long after Zyro Wu and Zhu woke up, Dugu Yan's eyelashes fluttered slightly as she opened her emerald green eyes, finally waking up as well. As her vision came into focus, her pupils instantly constricted. She saw Zyro Wu clinging to Lu Chen like an octopus, kissing him passionately. Dugu Yan could hardly bear to look. She stood up, placed her hands on her hips, and said, "Zyro Wu Zhuking, what are you two doing? The High Priestess is still watching." Bo Saixi also felt a bit embarrassed by the content of the trial. After clearing her throat twice, she explained to Dugu Yan in a low voice. Miss Dugu, Miss Zyro Wu, and Miss Zhuking are currently performing their 7th trial of the top tier 7 trials, to kiss Lord Lu Chen for more than 10 minutes. Since you are awake as well, let us go and complete your 7th trial. Dugu Yan's expression was a bit hard to maintain. Was this a trial? This was a reward. At that moment, she mobilized her mental force and delved into the blue-gold brand on her forehead, obtaining the content of her 7th trial of the Sea God 9 trials. Pull out the divine artifact, the Sea God Trident. She looked at Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuking with considerable envy. People really were different. Some people's trials were like rewards, while her trial required her to go pull out some Sea God Trident. High Priestess, then I'll have to trouble you to take me to the location of the Sea God Trident. My 7th trial of the Sea God 9 trials is to pull out the divine artifact, the Sea God Trident. Bo Saixi also felt that staying here would be very awkward. As a century-old single woman, watching the intimate actions between Lu Chen, Zyro Wu, and Zhu Zhuking made her feel awkward from her scalp to the soles of her feet. Miss Dugu, follow me. As soon as she spoke, Bo Saixi fled like a refugee, transforming into a streak of red light and quickly flying away from the area. Dugu Yan followed closely behind, trailing Bo Saixi toward the center of Sea God Island. She felt that if she stayed any longer, she wouldn't be able to resist the urge to join in. Soon, 10 minutes had passed. The red 7-pointed star brand on Zyro Wu's forehead released waves of warmth, and a majestic voice resounded. Top tier 7 trials, 7th trial, sublimation of love complete. All 7 trials of the top tier 7 trials are finished. Reward, spirit power increased by 3 ranks. Reward, 2 God bestowed spirit rings. Reward, all spirit ring age limits increased by 5,000 years. The rewards were extremely generous, but at this moment, Zyro Wu didn't care at all. She was immersed in the kiss with Lu Chen and couldn't pull herself away. It wasn't until the 3 ranks of rewarded spirit power surged into her Danshan and merged with her original spirit power, causing her power to begin rising steadily. That Zyro Wu was finally awakened from the sweet atmosphere. Reluctantly, she ended her intimacy with Lu Chen, muttering about what a buzzkill it was before climbing off him, sitting cross-legged on the ground nearby, and beginning to absorb the skyrocketing spirit power in her body. In the next instant, Zhu Zhuking pounced into Lu Chen's arms like a gust of wind, repeating Zyro Wu's exact actions to begin her 7th trial of the top tier 7 trials. At this moment, Lu Chen was thoroughly enjoying himself. He secretly gave the sea god a thumbs up. Although this old geezer had become a god, he was still very human. He handled social graces and human relationships quite well. Meanwhile, back to Dugu Yan's side. Bo Saixi led Dugu Yan all the way to the Sea God Temple on Sea God Mountain, and the two of them walked one after the other into the depths of the temple. Bo Saixi introduced with a look of reverence. Miss Dugu, the Sea God Trident is the weapon used by Lord Sea God before he achieved godhood. It is a true divine artifact, weighing 108,000 katis. Even an ordinary titled Douluo could never hope to lift it. However, you are now a super Douluo. I believe you can lift the Sea God Trident. Once you obtain its recognition, you will not be far from inheriting Lord Sea God's god position. Listening to Bo Saixi's introduction, Dugu Yan's expression became exceptionally determined for the sake of inheriting the Sea God's position. She clenched her fists, looking like she wouldn't stop until she reached her goal. In a short time, Bo Saixi and Dugu Yan arrived in the depths of the Sea God Temple. There, on a 3-level high platform, stood a pitch-black object that looked like a fire poker. Bo Saixi's eyes were filled with awe. Miss Dugu, that is the Sea God Trident. Chapter 331, The Sea God Trident. Looking at that pitch-black poker, Dugu Yan looked at High Priestess Bo Saixi in disbelief. High Priestess, are you sure that poker is the Sea God Trident? Bo Saixi nodded with absolute certainty. That is no poker, that is the true Sea God Trident. Divine artifacts conceal their own brilliance. Until it meets its true master, the Sea God Trident will never radiate its original glory. Go on, I believe you will definitely be able to pull out the Sea God Trident and let it shine with its original brilliance. Dugu Yan was half skeptical, but she soon leapt onto the 3-tiered platform, reached out both hands to grasp the pitch-black poker, and pulled upward. Douluo Yan was astonished. As a super Douluo, she actually couldn't lift this poker all at once. It seemed this poker really did have some significance to it. "Rise, for me." Douluo Yan gave a low shout, gritted her teeth, and erupted with all her strength. Her originally soft, delicate body now grew tense, and one could even see the well-defined contours of her muscles. Rumble. The poker moved slightly, being pulled out inch by inch. The moment the poker was pulled out, their entire sea god temple actually began to tremble along with it, as if a magnitude 10 earthquake had struck. Bo Saixi's eyes sparkled, her excitement beyond words. "It's out," as expected of the successor chosen by Lord Sea God. By this time, Douluo Yan had also exerted her full strength. On her fair forehead, fine veins could already be seen. Even more distressing were Douluo Yan's hands. On her originally fair and tender palms, because she had exerted too much force, the skin had been ground into a bloody mess by the pitch-black poker. Strands of crimson blood gathered into several lines of blood, flowing down along the poker. As the poker was pulled out inch by inch, parts related to the sea god trident finally appeared. Those were moon blades extending outward to the left and right. Of course, the moon blades were also encased in a layer of black rust. Looking at that rusty appearance, it was estimated that even chopping wood would be difficult. Besides the moon blades on both sides, there was a main blade in the middle, which also looked just as rusty. Additionally, at the junction of the main blade and the poker, there was clearly a groove. The groove wasn't large, about the size of a thumb. A gemstone seemed to have been embedded in this groove originally, but it was nowhere to be seen now. The strands of crimson blood flowing down the poker happened to gather into this groove. First a thin layer, then the blood gathered more and more, until it finally filled the entire groove, making it look as if a blood-colored gemstone was embedded in the sea god trident. After the blood-colored gemstone formed, it radiated a brilliant luster. Crack, crack. Bursts of cracking sounds came from the pitch-black sea god trident. Centered on that blood-colored gemstone, the rusty surface layer shattered into spiderweb-like cracks. Blinding golden light burst out from those cracks, illuminating the originally dim sea god temple as bright as day. Bo Saixi wept with joy, incredibly excited. Success, this is Lord Sea God's divine force. That blinding golden light not only illuminated the entire sea god temple, but even broke through the temple's barriers, spreading in all directions and enveloping the entire sea god island in an instant. At the location of the 7 sacred pillars of the sea god, the 7 sacred pillars shone in response to the golden light. Under the pull of that golden light, the 7 sacred pillars also erupted with pillars of light that soared into the sky. See Dragon Douluo, see Illusion Douluo, see Spear Douluo, see Devil Douluo, see Horse Douluo, see Star Douluo, and see Maiden Douluo, the 7 guardian Douluos of the 7 sacred pillars of the sea god, all knelt on one knee at this moment. They looked toward the center of Sea God Island, in the direction of the Sea God Temple, their expressions filled with fervor and their eyes full of reverence. Long live Lord Sea God! Not only these 7 guardian Douluos of the 7 sacred pillars of the sea god, but all the residents of Sea God Island were now facing the center of the island in prostrate worship. Long live Lord Sea God! Even the Devil Spirit Great White Shark clan in the ocean surfaced one by one. Zyro Bai, the Devil Spirit Great White Shark King, led the cry. Long live Lord Sea God! As the object of faith for all sea spirit masters and sea spirit beasts, the moment the sea god's divine force descended, tiny specks of power of faith, hard to see with the naked eye, drifted out from these sea spirit masters and sea spirit beasts, gathering toward the center of Sea God Island, the Sea God Temple. Under the enhancement of the power of faith, a towering figure wearing golden armor and holding a golden trident condensed above the Sea God Temple, radiating a holy and bright aura. This figure was precisely the sea god. However, on that sea god's face was a glamorous and beautiful countenance. This was not the previous generation's sea god, but the sea god's successor, Douluo Yan. Right after Douluo Yan pulled out the sea god trident, she gained the sea god's complete recognition. With the sea god's tacit consent, she received the worship of all sea spirit masters and sea spirit beasts as the new sea god. Look, that face is Yan Yan. Yan Yan went to complete the 7th trial of the Sea God 9 trials. From the look of it, it seems like she has already inherited the Sea God position. So majestic, so holy. The current Yan Yan even gives me a feeling of wanting to prostrate in worship. Zyro Wu, who had already finished absorbing her reward spirit power and made a breakthrough to level 78, cried out in surprise as she looked at the phantom of the sea god above the sea god temple. Now Zyro Wu and Zhu Yuqing had both completed their respective top tier 7 trials. Their spirit power had reached level 78, and the age of each of the spirit rings had increased by 12,000 years. The spirit ring configurations had now become 6 black and 1 red. Furthermore, each held 2 god-bestowed spirit rings in their hands. This meant that when they broke through level 80 and level 90 spirit power, they would no longer need to specifically hunt suitable spirit beasts. Just by absorbing the god-bestowed spirit rings, they could obtain the best spirit rings with perfectly matching age and attributes. It had to be said that the sea god was very generous. Both Zyro Wu and Zhu Yuqing had gained a great deal. Lu Chen looked at the sea god phantom, whose face was identical to Douluo Yan's, and the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. It seems Yan Yan has successfully obtained the sea god's divine artifact, the sea god trident, through the 7th trial of the sea god 9 trials. With the divine artifact, Yan Yan inheriting the sea god position is now a certainty. Let's go, we'll head to the sea god temple to congratulate Yan Yan. Zyro Wu and Zhu Yuqing each responded and followed behind Lu Chen, rushing together toward the sea god temple. Meanwhile at the sea god temple, Douluo Yan's face appeared somewhat pale due to excessive blood loss, but her eyes shone with excitement, because in her hand, the originally pitch-black poker had now returned to its original form, a shimmering golden trident. Holding the golden trident, Douluo Yan felt infinite power that could allow her to conquer the sea and command all sea spirit masters and sea spirit beasts. That majestic voice, tinged with gratification, resounded in her mind. The 7th trial of the sea god 9 trials, pull out the divine artifact, the sea god trident, completed, reward spirit power increased by 2 levels, sea god affinity increased by 20%. Since spirit power has reached level 99, reward adjusted, spirit power increased by 0 levels, sea god affinity increased by 40%. After the reward adjustment, the original 2 levels of spirit power became a doubling of sea god affinity. This was extraordinary. Douluo Yan's sea god affinity had accumulated to 60% from the 1st to the 6th trial. Originally, clearing the 7th trial would only have brought it to 80%, but now, after the reward adjustment, it directly reached 100%. This meant that by the time Douluo Yan cleared the 8th trial of the sea god 9 trials, and was rewarded with more sea god affinity, her sea god affinity would exceed 100%. Chapter 332, Sea God's Heart. Clap, clap, clap. A crisp sound of clapping drifted in from the main entrance of the sea god temple. Attracting the attention of both Douluo Yan and High Priestess Bo Seixi, they saw a smiling Lu Chen, along with Zyro Wu and Zhu Yuqing who followed beside him. Lu Chen had a smile playing on his lips. Yan Yan, congratulations. You've obtained the sea god's divine artifact, the sea god trident. Now, you're only 1 step away from becoming the sea god. Zyro Wu squinted her eyes under the stimulation of the golden light, only dimly seeing a 3-meter-long golden trident in Douluo Yan's hands, radiating a heart palpitating and vast divine might. Wow, so that's the sea god trident. This sense of oppression is just too powerful. Zhu Yuqing intentionally hid behind Lu Chen. She possessed the darkness attribute herself, and after absorbing the dark demon evil god bead, she also gained the evil attribute. Whether it was the darkness attribute or the evil attribute, facing the sea god trident which possessed the sacred light attribute made Zhu Yuqing feel a burning pain, both inside and outside her body. Only by hiding behind Lu Chen could Zhu Yuqing feel a sense of coolness. She didn't even emerge from behind Lu Chen when she spoke. Yan Yan, congratulations. On Douluo Yan's pale, bloodless face, a happy and proud smile bloomed. Let me tell you, when I first entered the sea god temple and saw the sea god trident, it looked like a fire poker, all black and rusty, not looking like a divine artifact at all. But as it turns out, after I pulled the sea god trident out and it absorbed my blood, it restored its original appearance. Holding the sea god trident actually gives me the illusion that I can conquer the great sea and command all sea spirit masters and sea spirit beasts. Hearing this, High Priestess Bo Seixi hurriedly corrected her. That is no illusion. Back then, Lord Sea God relied on the Sea God Trident to conquer all spirit masters and spirit beasts in the ocean. Relying on the power of faith from sea spirit masters and sea spirit beasts, he achieved the god position of the Sea God in one fell swoop. As long as you hold the Sea God Trident in your hand, you can mobilize all of Lord Sea God's authority over the ocean. Any sea spirit master or sea spirit beast is a subject of Lord Sea God and will never show any disrespect toward him. Douluo Yan's eyes were bright and sparkling. So the Sea God Trident is even more formidable than I imagined. Suddenly, Douluo Yan seemed to think of something. After I finished the 7th trial of the Sea God 9 trials, I received the contents for the 8th trial. I need to raise my spirit power to rank 99, collect all the spirit bones for my entire body, and find the Sea God's lost treasure, the Sea God's heart. How should I go about finding this Sea God's heart? Where did the Sea God leave it? High Priestess Bo Saixi was momentarily at a loss for words. She also didn't know where the Sea God had left the Sea God's heart. On the contrary, Chen spoke up at this time with a faint smile. The so-called Sea God's heart has actually been on you all along. Yan, the vast sea cosmic shroud is the Sea God's heart. Part of the reason you were able to obtain the Sea God 9 trials was that your talent met the Sea God's requirements, and the other part was because you were carrying the Sea God's heart on you. Yan, take out the vast sea cosmic shroud. That way your 8th trial will be considered passed. Forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks. Douluo Yan's eyes widened in a look of utter shock. So the Sea God's heart had been on her person all along. She reached out and felt for the storage soul guidance device at her waist, taking the vast sea cosmic shroud out from within. As that sky-blue conical object was exposed to the air, the Sea God Trident, which was originally radiating golden light, immediately resonated with it. Strands of golden light converged toward the vast sea cosmic shroud. After absorbing the golden light, the vast sea cosmic shroud also vibrated gently, shooting out a soft blue halo. Then the vast sea cosmic shroud slowly floated into midair. Its size, which was originally as large as a palm, actually gradually shrank down to the size of a thumb. Seeing this, a flash of realization, like a bolt of lightning, crossed Douluo Yan's mind. She leveled the golden trident in her hands. She turned the side with the socket upward. Sure enough, the thumb-sized socket and the thumb-sized Sea God's heart unexpectedly fit together perfectly. When the Sea God's heart dropped into that socket, blue and gold intertwined, and a blue-gold halo filled their entire Sea God temple. The Sea God Trident seems to have come alive. This is the complete Sea God Trident. Douluo Yan was greatly shocked. What she was holding now didn't feel like a divine artifact, but like a divine dragon that could soar through the 9 heavens. It felt as if the moment she let go, this divine dragon would fly right out of her hands. Fortunately, at this moment, the golden trident brand on Douluo Yan's forehead released Sea God's light. Under the illumination of the Sea God's light, that restless golden trident finally settled down. Simultaneously, the Sea God's voice resounded within Douluo Yan's mind. Sea God 9 Trials 8th Trial, retrieve the Sea God's heart, completed. Reward spirit power increased by 0 ranks. Reward Sea God affinity increased by 40%. After completing the 7th trial, Douluo Yan's Sea God affinity had already reached 100%. Now that she had finished the 8th trial, her Sea God affinity directly reached a staggering 140%. What kind of concept was this? Just based on this 140% Sea God affinity, there was no possibility of failure for Douluo Yan during the process of inheriting the Sea God's God position. With the protection of this 140% Sea God affinity, perhaps Douluo Yan only needed to take a nap, and by the time she woke up, she would already be the new Sea God. At the same time, High Priestess Bo Saixi seemed to have received some information as well. A smile of relief curled at the corners of her mouth. Miss Douluo, you are currently not in peak condition. Go back and recover your health today, and come back to the Sea God Temple tomorrow. I will truly open the path to godhood for you. Once you complete the 9th trial of the Sea God 9 trials, you will be the new Sea God. Douluo Yan was immersed in immense joy, and did not notice anything unusual in High Priestess Bo Saixi's words. Holding the Sea God Trident, she skipped over to Chen's side and threw herself into his arms, giving him a big hug. Chen, so all of this was within your plan. You gave me the Sea God's heart at the very beginning, so that I could complete the 8th trial of the Sea God 9 trials so easily. Chen raised his hand and pinched Douluo Yan's pale cheek, smiling slightly. I'm not that omnipotent, everything just happened naturally. Look at how pale your little face is. I'll give you some treatment after we get back. Then Chen looked at High Priestess Bo Saixi. Considering she was going to sacrifice herself for Douluo Yan, he gave her a sincere word of thanks. I've troubled the High Priestess during this time. Take care, High Priestess. High Priestess Bo Saixi bowed slightly. It is my duty. Chen nodded and then led Xiao Wu, Zhu Xuqing, and Douluo Yan out of the Sea God Temple. After Chen and the others left, High Priestess Bo Saixi ordered the guardian Douluos of the 7 sacred pillars of the Sea God to gather at the Sea God Temple to make the final arrangements for them. Chapter 333, The Path to Godhood. The next day, after resting for a night in Sea Dragon City, Chen, Xiao Wu, Zhu Xuqing, and Douluo Yan climbed Sea God Mountain early in the morning and arrived at the main gates of the Sea God Temple. At this moment, High Priestess Bo Saixi and the guardian Douluos of the 7 sacred pillars of the Sea God had already gathered here. Bo Saixi wore a smile on her face, one that seemed to contain a sense of liberation. As for the guardian Douluos of the 7 sacred pillars of the Sea God, their eyes were red with emotion, and the Sea Maiden Douluo was even weeping silently. Because they knew that after today, Bo Saixi would completely cease to exist. From her body to her soul, she would burn away entirely, leaving no trace behind in the world. Almost all of the current generation of the 7 sacred pillars guardian Douluos had been raised and trained by Bo Saixi personally. She was like a teacher to them. Now that they had to watch their teacher's body and soul perish before their very eyes, how could they not feel sorrow? Even though this was Bo Saixi's own choice, they still felt an unbearable sadness. Bo Saixi was very at peace with her fate, and she took the initiative to greet everyone. Good morning, everyone. I won't waste words. Miss Douluo, follow me into the Sea God Temple. I will open the path to godhood for you. Hearing this, Douluo Yan instinctively looked toward Chen. Chen nodded with a smile on his lips, signaling Douluo Yan that she could follow Bo Saixi inside without worry. Douluo Yan no longer hesitated. Then I shall trouble the High Priestess. Douluo Yan then followed Bo Saixi, and the two of them entered the Sea God Temple together. With a heavy boom, the doors slammed shut. Bo Saixi walked to the center of the hall and stopped, her voice filled with reminiscence and emotion. 100 years of experiences are like a dream or a phantom. Everything feels as if it happened yesterday. Scenes from the past echo in my mind. The more I try to forget, the more vivid the memories become. Miss Douluo, cherish the person before you. Do not wait until you have lost them to feel regret. Hearing these cryptic words, Douluo Yan tilted her head and asked with a slight confusion. High Priestess Chen and I are doing very well. I love him and he loves me. We both cherish each other. From what you just said, did you once lose your lover? A ripple of emotion appeared in Bo Saixi's otherwise desolate eyes. Yes, back then I was proud and arrogant, afraid to face my own heart. Even though I had clearly fallen in love with him, I still made excessive demands of him. To the point that he disappeared from the continent for decades for the sake of that ethereal goal. When I finally sensed his aura again, he was already on the verge of death. In the end, I didn't even get to see him one last time. It is truly tragic. I have been trapped my whole life by the pride in my heart. Miss Douluo, sometimes I truly envy you, being able to be with your beloved forever. I wish you a long life together, though after you become a god, you will never see the day your hair turns white. Opening the path to godhood requires a certain price, and that price is my life. Although I won't see the day of your wedding, consider this my wedding gift to you. As her voice fell, a flame ignited on Bo Saixi's body. This flame burst forth from her dantian, igniting her spirit power, flesh and soul, sacrificing everything she was. Douluo Yan was startled and tried to approach Bo Saixi, but the flames were so fierce that she was forced to retreat repeatedly to avoid being harmed. High Priestess, what are you doing? Why is opening the path to godhood so cruel that it requires you to give up your life? This is too unfair to you. Bo Saixi's spirit power was burning, her flesh was burning, and her soul was burning. The pain reached deep into her marrow, yet she seemed oblivious to it. Her voice was full of relief as she smiled. Miss Douluo, do not be sad for me. All of this is of my own volition. When I discovered that the man I once loved had died, my heart went numb along with him. At that moment, I already wanted to follow him. However, as the High Priestess of Sea God Island, I had responsibilities on my shoulders that I had to bear. Since then, I have lived in a daze. Now I am very happy. From this moment on, I am completely free. As her voice faded, Bo Saixi completely vanished into the flames, her body and soul perishing, no longer existing. Douluo Yan showed a look of sorrow. After all, Bo Saixi had given her much guidance. Seeing Bo Saixi burn from body to soul into nothingness, she couldn't help but feel grief for her. Sigh, love, indeed when you should seize it, you must grip it tightly and never let go. I want to become a god. I want to be with Lu Chen forever. I never want to end up like High Priestess Bo Saixi, separated from my lover by life and death. At that moment, at the spot where Bo Saixi had burned away, a gate leading to an unknown world condensed within the surging energy. Ancient patterns were carved onto the gate, forming the images of countless human spirit masters and countless ocean spirit beasts kneeling in worship. Seeing this, Douluo Yan clenched her fists, her eyes filled with determination. Is this the path to godhood belonging to the sea god? High Priestess Bo Saixi burned herself just to open this path for me. I will definitely become a god. With that thought, Douluo Yan stepped firmly into the gate. After a bout of dizziness, she arrived beneath a starry sky. Douluo Yan was instantly shocked. What shocked her even more was 100-jang tall divine palace standing amidst the stars, as if it had stood there since ancient times, radiating an eternal and inextinguishable glow. After the shock passed, Douluo Yan took a deep breath. Remembering she was the successor of the sea god, she strode boldly into the divine palace. Inside the palace, brilliant light flowed everywhere. In the center of the hall sat a massive golden throne, and a towering 100-meter giant sat quietly upon it. He watched Douluo Yan's arrival, his voice majestic. The moment he spoke, the entire palace trembled. When meeting this seat, why do you not kneel? Not only did Douluo Yan not kneel, but she also braved the pressure to look up at the 100-meter giant and spoke loudly. You are the sea god, and I am the successor to the sea god. Although I am grateful you gave me the chance to inherit the sea god position, I am not your believer. There is no need for such grand kneeling ceremonies. The 100-meter giant, the current sea god, was not angry upon hearing this. Instead, he burst into laughter. Haha, well said. When you inherit my god position, you will be the new sea god. Between one sea god and another, what need is there for kneeling? Then the sea god pointed a finger, sending Douluo Yan to the true place of legacy. After sending Douluo Yan away, he looked toward the entrance of the sea god temple. He saw a hazy figure radiating 7-colored light, actually tearing through space to enter his sea god temple. Did the sea god get angry at this forced intrusion? No. This was a supreme god king. As a first-class god, the sea god did not dare to be insolent before a supreme god king. He stood up and took the initiative to welcome him. The supreme god king's presence truly brings glory to my sea god temple. The god king's girlfriend has already been sent to the legacy grounds. With a sea god affinity as high as 140%, she will never encounter any danger during the process of inheriting the god position. Please rest assured on this, god king. Lu Chen, shrouded in 7-colored light, had forcibly torn through space to enter the sea god temple to back Douluo Yan up. Now that Douluo Yan didn't need his support, he didn't leave immediately. Sea god, I want to ask you something. I haven't gone to the god realm yet, so I don't know what Asura has been doing lately. Is he brewing some conspiracy against me? The sea god hesitated for a moment, then felt there was nothing that couldn't be said, so he spoke truthfully. Asura has been quite normal lately, busy with official duties. In fact, he's a bit too normal. In the past, he was never this dedicated to work, but now he's simply living in the God Realm hub, handling duties day and night without tire. God King, I know what Asura used to be like. He would slack off whenever he could. Working so hard now is clearly a show for the other 2 great God Kings and the other 2 God Realm law enforcers. As long as Asura maintains his position in the God Realm, he is an indispensable existence. The 5 great god kings, the god of evil, the god of goodness, the god of destruction, the goddess of life, and the Asura god, each hold the authority of the god realm. I know Asura has a grudge against you. If you just want to give him a beating, probably no one will stop you. But if you want to kill Asura, I can guarantee that whether it's the god of evil, the god of goodness, or even the god of destruction and the goddess of life, they will all stop you. This is Asura's confidence. God King, would you like me to act as a mediator to resolve the conflict between you two and turn swords into plowshares? That would be a wonderful story. Chen gave a cold laugh upon hearing this. Turn swords into plowshares, HMPH. Before I became a god, why didn't he think of turning swords into plowshares with me? Now he wants to resolve the grudge. It's too late. Asura must die. Even if the god of evil, the god of goodness, the god of destruction, and the goddess of life all stepped forward, they wouldn't be able to save him. Chapter 334, The Sea God. While Chen and the sea god were conversing, on the other side was the place of inheritance. This place seemed to be in the deep sea, surrounded by deep blue and clear seawater. Within the water, countless strange fish, jellyfish, seahorses, algae, and other marine life were everywhere. Douluo looked around curiously, her beautiful face filled with wonder. This was the first time she had seen the deep sea, and it was truly eye-opening. But suddenly, the blue-gold trident brand on her forehead shone brightly, causing Douluo's eyes to glaze over, as she immediately lost consciousness. At the same time, a blue pillar of light descended from the sky, enveloping Douluo. The sea god's divine force invaded her body, digging out the spirit bones within her one by one. First was the external spirit bone, then the left arm bone, the right arm bone, the left leg bone, the right leg bone, followed by the skull and the torso bone. Forcibly tearing out spirit bones, that a spirit master had already absorbed into their body, was a pain no less than being crushed to pieces or torn limb from limb. Any normal person would be screaming in agony at this point, or might even faint directly from the pain. But what about Douluo? Her consciousness had been pulled away. Even though her body spasmed slightly due to the spirit bone extraction, her mind felt no pain at all. Furthermore, under the protection of 140% sea god affinity, Douluo suffered no real damage to her body, despite the spirit bones being stripped away. Whenever a spirit bone was removed, the sea god's light would fill the void, nourishing her flesh, bones, and meridians, restoring her body that had grown weak from the loss of the spirit bones. As for Douluo's consciousness, it had been sent into an illusion by the sea god. In that illusion, from the perspective of a bystander, Douluo witnessed the sea god when he was still just a spirit master. With only a harpoon spirit, he defeated all rivals in the ocean. Over 1,000 years, he subdued one sea spirit master family after another, and one sea spirit beast clan after another, establishing a new order for the entire ocean. Relying on the power of faith from these sea spirit masters and sea spirit beasts, the sea god finally condensed the sea god position, thus becoming the sea god. During this process, Douluo witnessed the creation of the sea god position from nothing. Infinite insights erupted in her heart, and she gained an extremely profound understanding of the authority of the sea god position. The sea god allowed Douluo to see his own path to godhood, letting her perceive and experience it for herself, which would help her quickly master the power of the sea god position. The sea god could be said to have put in a lot of painstaking effort. At this moment, Douluo only felt a ball of light before her eyes. She reached out and caught the light ball in her hand. The light ball was like flowing water, merging into the depths of her consciousness, washing her soul, purifying all impurities, and elevating her mental force to the level of divine thought. Once her divine thought was formed, Douluo, still in the place of inheritance, opened her eyes. Before her were her 7 spirit bones. Under the infusion of the sea god's divine force, the 7 spirit bones from different spirit beasts were all dyed with the same dazzling blue-gold hue. Douluo was stunned when she saw this scene. Are these all my spirit bones? When were my spirit bones stripped out? Why didn't I feel anything? Of course Douluo didn't feel anything. At that time, her consciousness was still in the illusion, witnessing the sea god's path to godhood. In the next instant, the 7 spirit bones shone with a piercing light. Within the light, the 7 spirit bones melted like flowing water, moving as if they possessed life. First, the liquid melted from the skull bone floated toward Douluo, covering her head. Douluo originally thought this liquid would merge back into her body. Instead, the liquid adhered to her head, and while wriggling, condensed into the prototype of a helmet. Then came the torso bone, left arm bone, right arm bone, left leg bone, and right leg bone. The liquid melted from these spirit bones covered her torso, left arm, left leg, and right leg respectively. As they wriggled, they condensed into a set of full-body battle armor that fit Douluo Yan's figure perfectly. The sea god's divine raiment. One must know that Douluo Yan didn't just have 6 spirit bones. She also had an external spirit bone, the 8 spider lances. The liquid melted from the 8 spider lances floated to Douluo Yan's back and fused with her full-body battle armor. With a shua sound, it quickly unfurled, transforming into 4 pairs of wings. Sea god's 8 wings. The sea god's divine raiment fused with the sea god's 8 wings. This was the true sea god's divine raiment, belonging to Douluo Yan. The moment this divine raiment donned her body, Douluo Yan felt the spirit power within her surge, breaking through the bottleneck from level 99 to level 100. Her spirit power completely transformed into divine force. Douluo Yan raised her hand and gripped it, and the golden trident of the sea god appeared in her right hand. Wearing the sea god's divine raiment and holding the sea god trident, Douluo Yan became the new sea god without a single bit of pain. Thanks to the special treatment given by the sea god, Douluo Yan didn't undergo any test for the 9th trial of the sea god 9 trials. Instead, because she watched the sea god's path to godhood, she gained a very deep understanding of the sea god's authority. So this is the realm of a divinity, this is the power of the sea god. Douluo Yan murmured, only after truly becoming a god would one understand how powerful a divinity's strength was. Even 100 level 99 super Douluo could not hope to shake a divinity. Powerful strength was merely an incidental benefit for Douluo Yan. To her, the real benefit was that she could now live forever. Great, from now on I can be with Chen forever and ever. Douluo Yan was overjoyed and ecstatic. Wielding the golden trident in her hand, she tore a rift in the place of inheritance. With a flash, she dove in and left the legacy grounds. Returning to the sea god temple, Douluo Yan originally wanted to bid farewell to the sea god, but the first thing she saw was Chen. Chen, why are you here? Douluo Yan spoke with pleasant surprise, throwing herself into Chen's arms with a face full of joy, her excitement beyond words. Because Douluo Yan was wearing the sea god's divine raiment, Chen didn't quite know where to hold her. He could only say with a smile, I just came to see you. If any accident happened during the process of inheriting the sea god position, I could protect you immediately. Douluo Yan's eyes sparkled. Chen, you're the best. Looking at Chen and Douluo Yan being all lovey-dovey, the sea god felt like a glowing light bulb. Even facing Chen, this supreme god king, he spoke words to see them off. Ahem, Miss Douluo, now that you have inherited my sea god position, I will be waiting in the god realm for you to come and take my place. God King, since you are unwilling to turn your enmity with Shura into friendship, I won't interfere too much. I only hope the God King prioritizes the god realm and doesn't smash it to pieces. Otherwise, all the divinities in the god realm will have no choice but to stand against you. Chen gave a carefree smile and said, I naturally won't smash the god realm. I still want to take my family and friends there to enjoy life, so I definitely won't let it be destroyed. You can rest assured about that. After saying that, Chen took Douluo Yan and left the sea god temple, saying as they walked, Yan, put away the sea god's divine raiment. The divine raiment can change shape. Try changing it into a dress. Douluo Yan complied immediately. With a thought, the sea god's divine raiment on her body rapidly transformed, turning into a light blue dress. The sea god trident in her hand was also retracted into her dantian. At this time, Chen held Douluo Yan's slender waist with one hand, and the two of them left the sea god temple in a close embrace. Seeing this, the old sea god Poseidon shook his head and said, Shura, it's not that I'm being a bad brother, but you offended the Supreme God King. As a mere first-class god, I really don't dare offend a Supreme God King. Now my god position has been passed on to Douluo Yan. Out of respect for the legacy of the god position, this Supreme God King shouldn't make things difficult for me. I'm finally free of my burdens. Once Douluo Yan, the new sea god, ascends to the god realm, I'll find a chance to make a run for it. This god realm is so boring I can't stand it. Outside the sea god temple, space tore open, and Chen walked out of the rift with his arm around Douluo Yan's waist. Seeing the two appear, Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuqing hurried to meet them. Zyro Wu's sparkling eyes looked at Douluo Yan, and she asked with a tone of envy, How was it? Did you succeed in inheriting the divinity? With boss Lu Chen watching, there shouldn't have been any possibility of failure. Yan Yan, you're the new sea god now, right? Zhu Zhuqing was also watching Dugu Yan without blinking. Lu Chen had created his own divinity. Among the three of them, her, Zyro Wu, and Dugu Yan was the first to become a god by inheriting a divinity. Therefore, Dugu Yan's experience of becoming a god had great reference value for Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuqing. Dugu Yan also shared her joy with her little sisters. Of course I succeeded. It's truly incredible. I just had a dream, and in that dream, I saw the entire process of the sea god growing from a spirit master into the sea god. The experience of the sea god creating the sea god divinity from nothing was especially rewarding and beneficial for me. After becoming the sea god, I didn't need any adjustment period to master all of the sea god's abilities, all thanks to that dream. Anyway, after I woke up, my spirit bone evolved into a set of divine armor. The moment the divine armor appeared on my body, I successfully reached level 100 and became a god. During this process, I didn't feel any pain or discomfort. Perhaps it had to do with my sea god affinity. After completing the first 8 trials, my sea god affinity reached as high as 140%. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks. So becoming the sea god was almost smooth sailing, without going through any tempering. Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuqing listened earnestly, keeping everything Dugu Yan said in their hearts. They all remembered one point: the higher the affinity with a divinity, the easier it is to inherit the god position. Just then, the guardian Douluos of the 7 sacred pillars of the sea god knelt, on one knee in the direction of Dugu Yan, their expressions respectful and their eyes filled with fervor as they saluted. We pay our respects to Lord Sea God. Dugu Yan glanced at Lu Chen, temporarily broke free from his embrace, walked past Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuqing to stand before the 7 guardian Douluos, and raised her hand in a gesture. A wave of divine force swirled around the guardian Douluos, lifting them up. Rise, all of you, no need for such formalities. Regarding the matter of High Priestess Bo Saixi, I believe you all know. Please accept my condolences. I also did not expect that opening my path to becoming a god would require High Priestess Bo Saixi to sacrifice herself. I will absolutely never forget everything the High Priestess did for me. Sea Dragon Douluo's face showed a trace of sorrow. Yesterday, the High Priestess already summoned us and gave us her final instructions, telling us never to have any complaints and to wholeheartedly assist Lord Sea God in the future. If the High Priestess knew that she could be remembered by Lord Sea God, I believe she would be very gratified. Dugu Yan thought of Bo Saixi, who had turned to ashes in the flames, and a flash of sadness crossed her eyes. After all, it was the other party's sacrifice that had ultimately fulfilled her. Now that the High Priestess has sacrificed herself for me, my 2 friends, Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuqing, although they have passed the top-tier 7 trials and count as the 2nd Priestess and 3rd Priestess of Sea God Island, they cannot stay on Sea God Island forever. Sea Dragon Douluo, I now officially appoint you to serve as the acting High Priest of Sea God Island. When I am not on Sea God Island, you, as the acting High Priest of Sea God Island, must take on the responsibility of protecting Sea God Island. Now tell me, can you handle this? Sea Dragon Douluo held his head high and puffed out his chest, his granite-like muscles bulging high from the movement. He raised his right hand, pressed it against his left chest over his heart, and swore by his spirit. I swear by my Sea Dragon spirit, as long as I have a breath left, I will never let anyone destroy Sea God Island or harm the people of Sea God Island. Please rest assured, Lord Sea God. Dugu Yan nodded slightly and smiled. In that instant, it seemed as if their entire Sea God Island shone brilliantly along with her. Dugu Yan raised her hand and summoned the golden trident. With the tip of the golden trident, she gently tapped Sea Dragon Douluo's forehead, leaving a mark of the golden trident on it. Sea Dragon, since you have such determination, I can safely entrust the protection of Sea God Island to you. To ensure you have sufficient ability, I have left a golden trident mark on your forehead. From now on, you will have the authority of the High Priest on Sea God Island and can mobilize the power of the sea to defend against enemies. Do not let me down. Sea Dragon Douluo's eyes reddened. A warrior dies for one who appreciates him. The new sea god, Dugu Yan, valued him so much and gave him authority on Sea God Island comparable to the High Priest. The excitement in his heart overflowed, and he immediately roared to express his determination. Sea Dragon will never fail Lord Sea God's expectations. Only then did Dugu Yan retract the golden trident and wave at the 7 guardian Douluos. Go back, all of you. You still need to guard the 7 sacred pillars of the sea god, so there is no need to keep accompanying me here. Since Douluo Yan had spoken, the 7 guardian Douluos, led by Sea Dragon Douluo, bowed to Douluo Yan and then left Sea God Mountain, returning to the respective 7 sacred pillars of the sea god they guarded. On Sea God Mountain, only Chen, Douluo Yan, Xiao Wu, and Zhu Xuqing remained. Douluo Yan looked at Chen and said with a blooming smile, Chen, Sea God Island is left to Sea Dragon to protect. We can leave with peace of mind. Chen smiled slightly, reached out his hands to embrace Xiao Wu and Zhu Xuqing, one on each side, and took the 2 women into the sky. Then let's go, it's time to go home. Xiao Wu and Zhu Xuqing were still only spirit saints, so they needed Chen to carry them while flying. Douluo Yan looked with envy at Xiao Wu and Zhu Xuqing, who were held in Chen's arms on either side. Unfortunately, she had already become a god, so she had no reason to cling to Chen's arms at this moment. Douluo Yan leaped and caught up with Chen, who had taken to the air while holding Xiao Wu and Zhu Xuqing. Chen, now that I have become a god, where do you plan to go next to find divinity legacies for Xiao Wu and Xuqing? Hearing this, Chen looked up at the sky, as if he could see the god realm where the gods lived, separated by many obstacles, to the god realm. Only main gods above level 1 gods have sufficiently powerful divine, thought to have the ability to leave legacies on the continent. Trying to find suitable divinity legacies for Xiao Wu and Xuqing on the Douluo Continent, the range of choices is too narrow. I have decided to take you all to the god realm. When the time comes, whatever god position Xiao Wu and Xuqing fancy, we can just go and ask the corresponding divinity for it. I believe they wouldn't dare not give me some face. For now, let's go home first. When we leave, I must bring my mom and dad, and brother Douluo must be brought along too. Ru and Yin must also be brought. Right, and there's also old Jack, the village head of my former village. In short, not a single person can be left behind. This is what is called, when one person attains the Tao, their chickens and dogs ascend to heaven. It's just that Chen doesn't keep chickens or dogs. If he did, he would take the chickens to the god realm to crow, and if he had a dog, he would take it to the god realm to guard the gate. Chapter 336, Family Matters. Longevity Sect. Ever since Chen took over the territory of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School and established the Longevity Sect, he had brought his parents here. He used immortal herbs to cleanse their marrow and reshape their bones, achieving a rebirth that elevated them to the level of acquired full spirit power. Although Chen's parents were a bit old, thanks to the aptitude enhanced by absorbing the immortal herbs, their spirit power cultivation rose steadily over the next 2 years, faster than many children. Now Luan and Rose had both improved to level 25 spirit power, both at the 2-ring spirit grandmaster level. Such a small achievement was very insignificant, but it already satisfied Luan and Rose immensely. Thinking back to 2 years ago, they were just ordinary villagers and a farmer's wife from St. Spirit Village outside Newding City, destined to farm for their whole lives. Yet now they had transformed into noble spirit master lords. Moreover, their son was accomplished, being the #1 powerhouse on the continent, the savior of the continent, a divinity, the sect master of the Longevity Sect, the dean of Longevity Academy, and the council chairman of the Douluo Federation. Countless honors were heaped upon them. This old couple's faces also shone with pride. Now Luan and Rose basically lived a retired life, planting grass and growing flowers every day. After all, they used to be farmers, and if they didn't plant something now, they would feel uncomfortable. Although they would still cultivate, they only practiced occasionally in their spare time. They never aspired to become world-famous, powerful spirit masters. This life was exactly what they had dreamed of. Dad, Mom. Just as Luan and Rose were tending to the flowers and plants, they suddenly heard a familiar voice from behind them. Their bodies trembled and they hurriedly stood up to look back. Sure enough, they saw the son who made them proud, standing not far from them with a smile on his face. Little Chen. The couple Luan and Rose hadn't seen Chen for a while. Now that they saw him again, their faces were filled with excitement and surprise. Chen's heart softened. Facing the father and mother who gave him life, he did not suppress his emotions. He strode forward in a few steps, wrapped his arms around Luan and Rose, one on each side, and gave them a big hug. Dad, Mom, I've come back to visit you. Luan's emotions were relatively reserved, but the wrinkles on his face seemed to have been ironed flat, showing how happy he was inside. "It's good to be back, it's good to be back." Rose could not suppress her emotions. Tears like 2 strings of pearls kept falling from her eyes, and her voice trembled. "Little Chen, since you're back, stay for a while this time. We know you are very busy, but it's rare for you to come back, and Dad and Mom miss you very much." Lu Chen let go, his eyes bright and piercing. "Dad, Mom, I came back this time because I have something to discuss with you. It has been a while since my breakthrough to divinity. Soon, I will head to the God Realm, but I don't want our family to be separated, so I will take you with me to the God Realm. See if you have anything to pack, or if there is anyone you still want to say goodbye to, and take care of it during this time. Once we go to the God Realm, it won't be easy to come back." Upon hearing this, Luan and Rose were immediately at a loss, their eyes filled with confusion about going to the God Realm. As authentic farmers, they were already very satisfied with their current life. Asking them to go to the God Realm left their minds blank. They couldn't imagine how people like them could have any qualifications to go to the God Realm. Therefore, their first reaction was not excitement, but refusal. Luan rubbed his hands, shrank his neck, and said in a terrified tone, "Little Chen, if farmers like us go to that legendary place, you will be laughed at by others. We are already very happy that you have this filial piety. Before you go to the God Realm, just spend more time with us, and we will be satisfied. Let's not go to the God Realm. That is where the gods live. Mud-legged people like us are not suitable for such a place." Rose also nodded repeatedly, fully agreeing with what Luan said. Lu Chen's expression became serious. The warmth on his face was gone, replaced by an air of dominance that looked down upon the world. "Who among those with no eyes would dare to laugh at you, the parents of Lu Chen? Dad, Mom, I have already decided. You should pack your things and say your goodbyes. I also need to go back to Saint Spirit Village. Old Jack took great care of us back then, and I cannot leave him behind when going to the God Realm this time." Hearing Lu Chen's unquestionable words, Luan and Rose steadied themselves, and each showed a look of relief. Luan patted the back of Lu Chen's hand. "Good, little Chen is accomplished. We will listen to little Chen." Lu Chen smiled slightly. After temporarily saying goodbye to Luan and Rose, he left the longevity sect and returned to the long-absent Saint Spirit Village. Outside Saint Spirit Village, Lu Chen stood on the familiar country road, looking at the stone tablet at the entrance of the village. Originally, the words Saint Spirit Village were engraved on the tablet, but now the words God's Soul Village had been changed on it. Seeing this, Lu Chen chuckled. "God's Soul Village. I haven't been back to Saint Spirit Village for a long time. I didn't expect even the name to have been changed. I wonder what expression old Jack had on his face when he learned that I had achieved a breakthrough to divinity." While speaking, Lu Chen entered God's Soul Village. The village was very different from before. There were no more adobe houses full of rustic flavor. Now, from the entrance to the depths of the village, there were rows of small blue brick buildings. This was a special appropriation from the Douluo Federation, a benefit for the villagers of God's Soul Village. In the end, it was all to curry favor with Lu Chen. Even though Lu Chen hadn't given any orders, the people below had done it spontaneously. Lu Chen's divine thought shrouded him. Even if he occasionally bumped into the villagers of God's Soul Village, these villagers could not see Lu Chen. Lu Chen did not want to cause a commotion. He walked straight to the depths of the village and arrived at a 2-story building. This was the home of the village chief, Old Jack. Lu Chen stepped forward and knocked on the door, and he heard Old Jack's voice come from inside. "Who is it?" Lu Chen smiled and said, "It's me, Old Jack." The next moment, Old Jack's voice rose by 8 degrees. "Little Chen." Amidst a burst of hurried footsteps, Old Jack opened the door. Seeing Lu Chen standing at the door, the wrinkles on his face smoothed out. "Little Chen, it really is you. Come in and sit down, Little Chen. I saw that you were accomplished when you were young, and facts have proven that I didn't misjudge you. How long has it been, and you have already achieved a breakthrough to divinity? When I first learned this news, I was so shocked that I couldn't close my mouth. I kept confirming it with others over and over again before I was sure it was true. Look at our village, it has changed a lot now. All of this is thanks to you. Moreover, our Saint Spirit village has been renamed God Soul Village to commemorate that a god came out of our village. Chen followed old Jack into his new home. Looking at the furnishings in the house, all kinds of household items were new, and he nodded with satisfaction. Old Jack, I came back this time to discuss something with you. I am preparing to go to the God realm soon. This time, not only do I want to take my parents, but I also want to take you with me to the God realm. See if you have anything to entrust to the villagers. If there is nothing, we will leave God Soul Village first. Old Jack was stunned for a moment. After a long time, he came back to his senses and looked at Chen with relief. Little Chen, I am very satisfied that you have this filial piety, but I am the village chief of God Soul Village. Even if I die, I want to die in God Soul Village. I am too deeply tied to this land. If you really want what's best for me, don't take me to any God realm. I don't want to go to any other place. If I leave God Soul Village, I might as well just die. Looking at this stubborn old man, Chen tried to persuade him in every way, but he couldn't make old Jack change his mind. In desperation, when Chen left, he extracted a trace of divine force and injected it into a reincarnation blue-silver emperor. When old Jack passes away from natural causes, this reincarnation blue-silver emperor will collect his soul. At that time, even if Chen has already gone to the God realm, he will be able to bring this stubborn old man's soul over by relying on the opportunity of the reincarnation blue-silver emperor. Chapter 337, See God and Angel. Douluo City. This capital of the Douluo Federation had now been built into something quite impressive. With Chen, the hero who saved the continent, serving as the gold standard signboard for the Douluo Federation. The internal stability of the Douluo Federation was extreme. Even if some members of the upper council or lower council harbored their own little agendas, it was limited to petty power struggles, and they absolutely dared not openly carve out territory to declare themselves kings or take any actions to split the Douluo Federation. After all, although Chen was not physically present in the Douluo Federation, his reputation still weighed heavily upon every council member. Chen's will was the guiding principle for the Douluo Federation's execution. In the center of Douluo City, inside a towering building over 100 meters high, Douluo was in his office, processing a mountain of files. Douluo, that diligent workhorse, had been the grand elder of the longevity sect, where he had to handle every single affair of the sect. Once the Douluo Federation was established, Chen had dragged him over to serve as the Secretary General of the Douluo Federation, handling all that complex and tedious work on his behalf. Douluo, who was once the freest and most idle-titled Douluo on the continent, had now become the busiest person on the continent. Fortunately, much of his work was shared by the upper and lower councils. For many of the issues reported up, the councils had already provided their recommendations, and Douluo only needed to confirm or reject them. This had greatly reduced Douluo's workload. Just at that moment, accompanied by the sound of footsteps, Douluo, while feeling frazzled, said irritably, "Who is it? What is it this time?" After hearing no reply for a long while, Douluo finally looked up, only to see Chen and his granddaughter, Yan, walking into the office with smiles on their faces. Chen, Yan, you finally decided to come back. While pleasantly surprised, Douluo's tone also betrayed a hint of resentment. You young people, spending all day traveling and having fun, leaving me, this old man, stuck here to handle this complex and tedious work for you. You finally decided to come back and visit me. Chen smiled slightly and nudged Yan to step forward. Brother Douluo, we weren't just traveling and playing, we went to complete the final few trials of the Sea God 9 trials. Now that we are back, we want to tell you this good news. Yan has attained divinity, a genuine first-level god, the Sea God. Yan shared the good news of her becoming a god with Douluo, all smiles. Grandpa, look. This is the Sea God's divine artifact, the Sea God Trident. As she spoke, Yan summoned the 3-meter-long golden trident. Its entire body looked as if it were cast from gold, and a blue conical gemstone was embedded on it, shimmering with brilliant light. This is the Sea God's divine armor, evolved from all 7 of my spirit bones. As her voice fell, the emerald green dress on Yan's body transformed into a set of sky blue full body armor, complete with a helmet, breastplate, arm guards, leg guards, and the sea god's 8 wings that spanned over 3 meters when spread. These are the sea god's spirit rings, and my other spirit rings have all had their age increased by 50,000 years, making them completely different. As soon as she said this, spirit ring after spirit ring rose from beneath Douluo Yan's feet. Black, 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 red, 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 blue gold, 6 black, 3 red, and 1 blue gold. Fortunately, Douluo Yan had restrained her sea god's divine might while demonstrating. Otherwise, this office building would have been reduced to powder under the pressure of the sea god's divine might. After seeing all this, Douluo stood up from his chair, both shocked and delighted. His mouth hung open, and he burst into hearty laughter. It seemed that seeing Douluo Yan attain divinity made him even happier than if he had attained it himself. Ha 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 ha, our Douluo lineage actually has the fortune of producing a divinity. I can die without regrets. This old man can die without regrets. Chen quickly interrupted Douluo. Hey brother Douluo, this is a joyous occasion. Don't talk about dying, that's not auspicious. We came here because there is a major matter to discuss with you. Both Yan Yan and I have attained divinity, and we don't have much time left to stay on the continent. We plan to head to the God Realm soon. Besides us, I intend to bring my father, my mother, and you along to the God Realm so you can all enjoy blessings there. You should start handing over the work currently in your hands, as we will be departing before long. Hearing this, Douluo was stunned. He frowned and said, We are going to the God Realm, and you're going to take us all with you. Then what about the affairs on the Douluo Continent? Are you just going to wash your hands of it? The Longevity Sect, Sect Longevity Academy, the Douluo Federation, these were all built by your own hands. Chen smiled indifferently and said, Actually, I have never had much interest in power. I founded the Longevity Sect and Longevity Academy to oppose the Spirit Hall and Spirit Academy, back when the Supreme Pontiff of the Spirit Hall was still Bibaidong. Now that Bibaidong is dead, I have dismantled the Spirit Hall. Without its armed forces, it is only responsible for helping commoners with spirit awakening across the continent, and that is enough. After we leave, the Longevity Sect will be handed over to Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo. Chrysanthemum Douluo has been brainwashed by my blue-silver sovereign, making him my most loyal spokesperson. The Longevity Sect can continue to carry on. As for Longevity Academy, the deans of the 4 element academies will form a school committee to manage the daily affairs of Longevity Academy, and it will remain the #1 academy on the continent. As for the Douluo Federation, I simply couldn't bear to see the continent divided for so long with the north and south in confrontation, which would mean that the flames of war could spread to the citizens of the 2 great empires at any time. As long as the continent is unified and the people live in peace and contentment, power is nothing but passing clouds to me. However, before I leave, I must find a suitable successor. Douluo took a deep breath, straightened his back, thumped it, and revealed an expression of relief. Since you don't care, why should I worry for you? All this time, trying to handle this complex and tedious work, I feel like I've been agging 10 times faster. Now that I can just walk away from it, this old man couldn't be happier. The God Realm, ha ha ha, to think that I, this old man, will actually get to see the God Realm. I'll just tag along with you. I wonder if I'll ever have the chance to become a divinity myself in the future. Chen smiled and agreed. You definitely will. Afterward, Chen took Douluo Yan and left Douluo's office, turning to head toward the Elder Hall of the Spirit Hall. The successor Chen wanted to find was Qian Dailiu. After Qian Dailiu, it could be handed over to Qian Renxiu. This grandfather and granddaughter duo were not of bad character. Although they had been hostile in the past, they were not the kind of people who would bring disaster to the continent. Letting them be the successors would make the order of the Douluo Federation even more stable. If this grandfather and granddaughter pair eventually turned the Douluo Federation into a Qian family, Douluo Federation, even if he went to the God Realm, it wouldn't mean he had no way to return. If Tang San could find opportunities to descend to the lower realm, it wasn't as if Chen couldn't do the same. The Elder Hall. Chen and Douluo Yan arrived at an opportune moment. They saw the angel statue radiating brilliant divine light, and a proud figure with long golden hair cascading down, dressed in a golden gown, walked out of the light. It was none other than Qian Renxiu. Qian Renxiu had also attained divinity. After her grandfather sacrificed himself, she completed the final trial of the Angel 9 trials. Amidst endless sorrow, Cain Renxu had completely transformed. At this moment, Cain Renxu was also a bit dazed. She had not expected that just as she had attained divinity, Lu Chen and Du Guyan would come to block her path. They had come at just the right time. There seemed to be flames burning in Cain Renxu's eyes. Although she knew she was no match for Lu Chen, as the new angel god, she wanted to test her own strength. Lu Chen, you've come just in time. I want to challenge you. This battle will not involve any personal grievances. Consider it me being ignorant of the height of the heavens and the breadth of the earth, wishing to know the gap between you and me. If I am defeated, you may deal with me as you please. Even if you want to kill me, I will have no complaints or regrets. Before Lu Chen could speak, Du Guyan blocked his path. A wave of sea god's divine might was slowly released, and with a cold snort, she proudly raised her head. If you want to challenge Lu Chen, you must first get past me. It just so happens that I have also just attained divinity. My strength should be on par with yours. Lu Chen's expression was strange. The sea god and the angel god were destined to clash after all. Chapter 338, Battle of the Two Gods. Cain Renxu looked surprised. She knew Du Guyan, but she hadn't expected that just as she became the angel god, the other party would become the sea god at the same time. During the previous Spirit Master competition, Cain Renxu was already a level 92 titled Douluo, but back then, Du Guyan was only an 8th-ring Spirit Douluo. Not much time had passed, and Cain Renxu had become the angel god because Cain Dalu had given her special training and eventually sacrificed himself. Now seeing Du Guyan, who was inferior to her before, become a god at the same time, and even a step earlier, Cain Renxu's heart inevitably rippled, and an unnamed fire rose within her. She glanced at Lu Chen's position. It must have been Lu Chen's help that allowed Du Guyan to become a god so quickly. Cain Renxu's eyes were cold like stars, and her tone was sharp like a blade. Very well, then I will defeat you first, and then go to challenge Lu Chen. The angel god and the sea god are both first-rank gods, and they are evenly matched in power, so this is fair. It just depends on which of us can better exert the power of our respective authorities. This is not a place for a fight. Let's go outside and find a spacious place to fight. As she finished speaking, the angelic 6 wings behind Cain Renxu fluttered gently, turning into a golden stream of light, flying out of the Elder Hall and towards the distant horizon. That suits me perfectly. Du Guyan's battle intent also soared. Since becoming a god, she had not yet fought anyone, and today was the perfect opportunity to test her own strength through Cain Renxu. Lu Chen, I hope you won't interfere in the battle between Cain Renxu and me this time. Afterward, Du Guyan vibrated her sea god's 8 wings, turning into a blue stream of light, following closely behind the golden stream, both flying towards the west. Lu Chen looked at Cain Renxu and Du Guyan as they flew away one after the other, an interested look appearing on his face. The destined battle between the sea god and the angel god, is it? Interesting, truly interesting. However, in my opinion, Cain Renxu is no match for Yan Yan. Cain Renxu's angelic divine raiment is composed of 6 spirit bones, while Yan Yan's sea god divine raiment is composed of 7 spirit bones. Yan Yan's extra sea god's 8 wings are enough to erase Cain Renxu's speed advantage. Moreover, Yan Yan's 9th spirit ring comes from the 680,000-year-old deep-sea demon whale, which has greatly consolidated Yan Yan's foundation. Even though both have become first-rank gods, Yan Yan, with a higher base value, will inevitably be able to suppress Cain Renxu, who has average base values. Although there is no suspense, it is rare to see 2 women fighting. Let's hurry and catch up to watch the excitement. Lu Chen excitedly followed. He followed Cain Renxu and Du Guyan all the way to the Great Western Wilderness, an uninhabited place for thousands of miles. Even if Cain Renxu and Du Guyan caused a huge commotion, it wouldn't affect any civilians. By the time Lu Chen arrived, the battle between the 2 women had already begun. Angelic Domain. Sea God Domain. 2 divine rank domains unfolded in the sky. The angelic domain reflected the brilliance of the sun, and rays of sunlight converged into the angelic domain, making Cain Renxu shine with 10,000 rays of light, as if 2 suns had appeared in the sky. And this great western wilderness was not far from the ocean. Du Guyan released the sea god domain, causing 100-foot waves to rise in the ocean, and wisps of water vapor gathered, as if turning this great western wilderness into a watery kingdom. The two divine rank domains collided fiercely. The brilliance of the sun evaporated the seawater, but the seawater did not disappear. It just turned into gaseous water. Water vapor filled the air, and the power of the sea god domain did not diminish, threatening to submerge the world in one go. Kyan Renxu frowned slightly. Her angelic domain, with the help of the sunlight, could not gain the upper hand at all. Douluo sea god domain was even more resilient than she had expected. Angelic sacred sword. Angel light slash. Kyan Renxu raised the angel god's divine artifact, the angelic sacred sword. The brilliance of the sun converged into that divine artifact, and the angelic sacred sword shone brightly, with one slash. 100-meter sword Kai that tore the sky was unleashed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks. Douluo was well prepared. Her sea god's 8 wings vibrated, and she disappeared from her original spot in an instant, causing the 100-meter sword Kai to strike empty space. After dodging this blow, Douluo also completed her energy accumulation. She did not use any single target attack skills like Kyan Renxu. She knew that Kyan Renxu had the angelic 6 wings, and her speed was inevitably unmatched. It was almost impossible to hit Kyan Renxu with single target attack skills. 1,000 years of emptiness. The sea god's divine force swirled the infinite water vapor in the sky, turning it into wave after wave of 100-meter tides, sweeping towards Kyan Renxu in a large area. Even though Kyan Renxu's speed was unmatched, facing this kind of large-scale area of effect attack skill, she had nowhere to hide. Angelic shield. Kyan Renxu clasped her hands together with a pious expression. The little angel mark on her forehead bloomed with brilliant golden light, condensing into a layer of light shield around her body. This was a divine skill comparable to absolute defense. The large-scale tides stirred up by 1,000 years of emptiness, although they left Kyan Renxu with nowhere to hide, only caused ripples on the angelic shield when they collided with it, showing no signs of breaking. Having withstood this attack, Kyan Renxu also understood. Douluo, relying on those sea god's 8 wings, was no less fast than her. The other party could easily dodge ordinary single-target attack skills. So to make the attack effective, she could only rely on area of effect attack skills. Angelic radiant sun. As soon as the words fell, a golden light shot into the sky from Kyan Renxu's body, carrying a strong sacred aura, dyeing the entire sky gold. Kyan Renxu saw thousands of afterimages of herself appear behind her, holding divine swords and releasing countless dazzling solar sacred brilliance towards Douluo. This overwhelming area of effect attack skill indeed made Douluo unable to dodge, so she didn't dodge. Sea god's 8 wings, devour. The predecessor of the sea god's 8 wings was the external spirit bone 8 spider lances, and the most terrifying ability of the 8 spider lances was devouring. After evolving into the divine artifact sea god's 8 wings, the devouring ability was also epically enhanced. The sea god's 8 wings quickly opened, turning into a black hole with a diameter of 8 meters, and Douluo's figure disappeared into the black hole. The overwhelming solar sacred brilliance bombarded the black hole, and was eventually completely devoured by it, with every bit of energy being squeezed dry. This devouring ability of the sea god's 8 wings could even devour the solar sacred brilliance containing angel divine power completely. Kyan Renxu's expression changed when she saw this. Her angel divine power had dual attributes of sacred and flame. Once it invaded someone else's body, it would continuously burn the other person's flesh, soul, and spirit power. Being able to devour her angel divine power, this devouring power was too terrifying. Solar sacred sword. Kyan Renxu's offensive was like fire, without a moment's pause, gathering divine force again to brew the next attack. No return. Douluo responded quickly. Her battle intent surged in her chest, integrating the sea god's abilities in actual combat. The two first-rank gods fought, causing the space to collapse and the earth to be plowed into gullies. The aftermath of the angel divine power and the sea god divine force entangled and collided fiercely in space, triggering a series of heaven-shaking explosions. Now, this great western wilderness seemed to have turned into a powder keg. Fortunately, this was the great western wilderness, uninhabited and desolate. If there were villages and cities nearby, the aftermath alone would have been enough to slaughter tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of people. Chapter 339, the outcome is decided. Boom, booms, boom. The sound of explosions was incessant. The frantic storm and scattered flames whipped up a fire, tornado hundreds of Shanghai. An area within several thousand meters had become the battlefield for Qian Rengxiu and Du Guyan. Except for Lu Chen, any titled Douluo, even a level 99 super Douluo, would be torn to shreds the moment they approached this perimeter. Such was the intensity of the battle between divine rank powerhouses. Qian Rengxiu began to gasp for air. Even though she had become a god and her spirit power had transformed into divine force, after such intense consumption, she felt a sense of emptiness within her body. Her divine force could no longer keep up with her expenditure and gradually became weak. Grandfather sacrificed himself for me, which allowed me to ascend to the god position. I absolutely cannot fail. Du Guyan, let us decide the outcome with one final move. Great Sun Angel, 10,000 suns over the sky. This was an attack technique of the angelic domain. Qian Rengxiu held the angelic sacred sword high, drawing in the boundless brilliance of the sun, transforming it into clusters of sun true fire, compressing and condensing them. Behind her, a halo of light formed, reflecting countless suns that fell forward like flaming meteors. While Qian Rengxiu was speaking, Du Guyan had already begun preparing. Wrapped in a hazy blue halo, she snorted coldly and said, "If you want to decide the outcome with one move, then let's decide it with one move. Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Azure waves, sea god, boundless blue. This was an attack technique of the sea god domain. Fortunately, the great western wilderness was not far from the ocean, allowing Du Guyan to more calmly summon the power of the entire ocean to unleash a devastating strike. The entire ocean glowed, and the power within the ocean obeyed the sea god's summons, transforming into bursts of brilliant blue light that condensed in the sky into a blue giant wave 1,000 zhang high. It roared forward like an avalanche. In an instant, the attack techniques of the two divine rank domains collided. Countless flaming meteors crashed into the 1,000 zhang high blue giant wave. Every collision caused explosive force that made space tremble, tearing open cracks. In this contest between the flaming meteors and the blue giant wave, the fierce collision of fire and water ultimately prevailed. Du Guyan's base stats were higher. Her 8th spirit ring was a 100,000-year spirit ring, and her 9th spirit ring was an even more impressive 680,000-year spirit ring, which gave Du Guyan terrifying base stats. After becoming a god, these base stats transformed into Du Guyan's foundation, allowing her to use the sea god's authority faster, stronger, and more fiercely, and summoning the power of the sea was effortless for her. Conversely, before Qian Rengxiu became a god, her spirit ring configuration was the most ordinary 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black, even though it was strengthened after she became a god, turning into a 6 black and 3 red spirit ring configuration. It could not change the fact that her base stats were inferior. The sea god and the angel god were both first-tier gods, so they were evenly matched in terms of power level, but Du Guyan's base stats were higher than Qian Rengxiu's. Therefore, Du Guyan was stronger. The blue giant wave extinguished the countless flaming meteors one by one and slammed into Qian Rengxiu with undiminished power. Qian Rengxiu was filled with disbelief, but she was helpless. The violent impact of the blue giant wave made her angelic divine armor creak, and the force penetrated into her body, causing her internal organs to churn. Puff! Qian Rengxiu spat out pale golden blood, and then her aura began to plummet. She no longer had the strength to continue fighting Du Guyan. At the same time, although Du Guyan's face was also a bit pale, due to excessive consumption of divine force, her state was clearly much better than Qian Rengxiu's. Lifting the golden trident, with the tip pointing at Qian Rengxiu's position, as if it would be thrown the next moment, Du Guyan said coldly, "Qian Rengxiu, you have lost." Qian Rengxiu lowered her head, her eyes dull, looking lifeless as she muttered, "Yes, I have lost." At this moment, Lu Chen flew over. He first flew to Du Guyan's side and praised her with a smile. "Yan Yan, well done." Hearing the praise, Du Guyan raised her head, a proud smile appearing on her pale, pretty face. After praising Du Guyan, Lu Chen flew toward Qian Rengxiu's position, stopping 3 meters away from her, looking down at her from above. "Qian Rengxiu, you are not even a match for Yan Yan, let alone a match for me. You previously said that if you lost to me, you would leave yourself to my disposal. Does that still count?" Hearing this, focus returned to Kyan Renxu's eyes. She raised her head, revealing a fair and slender neck. She pursed her lips, her brow firm, and said with great stubbornness, "Of course it counts. Whether you want to kill me or torture me, I am at your disposal." Chen nodded upon hearing this, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. "Very well, I want you to be the council chair of the Douluo Federation and continue to protect this hard-won peace." Huh? Kyan Renxu was full of question marks. She had already prepared herself to die, but Chen not only didn't kill her, he actually wanted to give her his position as the council chair of the Douluo Federation. She asked in surprise, "Are you not joking? You went to such great lengths to dismantle Spirit Hall, destroy the two great empires, as well as numerous kingdoms and duchies, just to unify the entire Douluo continent and sit in the position of council chair of the Douluo Federation, and now you want to hand this position over." Chen put his hands behind his back, his gaze distant, flashing with an inscrutable light, and his calm voice radiated a convincing magic. "I was never interested in power. The reason for unifying the Douluo continent was only because I did not want to see the people of the Douluo continent fall into the flames of war. Now that the continent is unified and the people are living and working in peace, it is naturally time for me to retire after success. I am letting you be the council chair of the Douluo Federation, first because you have become a god and have enough strength to suppress any petty villains. Second, because as the angel god, you are a god of light, which means your heart is not dark and you will not do things that oppress the people. But you must remember, the Douluo Federation is the Douluo Federation of the people of the Douluo continent. It must never become the Douluo Federation of your Kyan family. I am only going to the god realm, not dead yet." Hearing Chen's words, the way Kyan Renxu looked at Chen changed completely, full of admiration. He was dismissive of power and wholeheartedly for the people of the Douluo continent. This man was simply perfectly flawless. Kyan Renxu leaned on the angelic sacred sword and stood up shakily. Meeting Chen's gaze, her eyes firm and her expression solemn, she swore by her god position. "Since you, Chen, are selfless and willing to give up the power of the council chair of the Douluo Federation, I, Kyan Renxu, am not willing to be a selfish villain either. I swear by my angel god position that after becoming the council chair of the Douluo Federation, I will wholeheartedly seek welfare for the people of the Douluo Federation and will never turn the people's Douluo Federation into my Kyan family's Douluo Federation. If I break my oath, let my angel god position shatter, and I will never be able to go to the god realm. Chen, I lost today, but I may not lose in the future. When I go to the god realm in the future, I will challenge you again." Hearing Kyan Renxu's oath, Chen was relieved. He turned and drifted away, his voice coming back with the wind. "If you want to challenge me, you had better defeat Yan first." Dugu Yan stood proudly, wearing the sea god divine armor, holding the golden trident, looking down at the world, and said to the brazen Kyan Renxu, "Kyan Renxu, you are my defeated opponent today, and you will be my defeated opponent in the future. One step ahead, always ahead. I will not give you a chance to catch up to me." Kyan Renxu's eyes were cold, and her hands gripping the hilt of the angelic sacred sword trembled slightly from excessive force. With a breath held in her chest, she refused to admit defeat and said, "That may not be the case, let us fight another day." Then under Kyan Renxu's gaze, Chen and Dugu Yan drifted away. Chapter 340, Departing for the God Realm. After arranging everything on the Douluo continent, Chen returned to the longevity sect with everyone. On the square in front of the main peak's great hall, Chen looked at his family and friends, Lu and Rose, Dugu Bo, Dugu Yan, Zyro Wu, Shuking, Yin and Eru, and said with a smile, "All right, everyone is here. Today we set off for the God Realm. For us, the God Realm is a completely unfamiliar place. Therefore, to ensure everyone's safety, apart from Yan, who has already become the sea god, everyone else must first enter my portable space. Once I am settled in the God Realm, I will let you all out. While in the portable space, if you need anything, just shout loudly towards the sky, and I will be able to hear you." An and Rose nodded repeatedly, feeling both nervous and gratified. From being ordinary farmers in Saint Spirit Village to becoming noble spirit masters, and now being able to follow him to the God Realm, everything was because they had raised a good son, Chen. This was definitely a sign that their ancestral grave was smoking with good fortune. Therefore, Lu An and Rose had no objections to Lu Chen's arrangements. Although Douluo was a level 98 Super Douluo, he knew that he would be unable to intervene in a battle between divine rank powerhouses. Looking with pride at his granddaughter Douluo, who had become the sea god, he agreed without a second thought. No problem, I'll listen to whatever you two say. Zyro Wu, Shuking, Yin, and A Ru were still only at the spirit saint level, and were even less capable of intervening in battles between divine rank powerhouses. Zyro Wu, filled with confidence in Lu Chen, waved her little fist and said, "Boss Lu Chen, that Asura god has caused you trouble many times. Once we get to the god realm, you must teach him a good lesson." Zhu King, thinking more meticulously, felt a flash of worry in her eyes. That Asura god holds a high position in the god realm and surely has many supporters behind him. In short, Lu Chen, be careful. Yin and A Ru, both having undergone beast-to-human transformation, were nervous yet excited that they now actually had the chance to enter the god realm. How many years had it been? There had never been a precedent for a spirit beast to attain divinity. Now that the two of them might have a chance to attain divinity, their excitement was beyond words. Yin's eyes were filled only with Lu Chen, feeling grateful that she had followed such a good master. Aru's eyes were filled only with her daughter, Zyro Wu, feeling grateful that her daughter had latched onto such a powerful figure. After discussing everything, Lu Chen moved his divine thought and gathered Luan, Rose, Douluo, Zyro Wu, Shuking, Yin, and A Ru into his portable space. The only one left outside was Douluo. Lu Chen looked at Douluo, who stepped forward with light footsteps, gently took Lu Chen's arm, smiled like a flower, and said in a firm tone, "Even if the entire god realm is your enemy, I will firmly stand by your side." Lu Chen smiled amusedly. "The only one I want to deal with is Asura. There is no need to make the entire god realm my enemy, but given Asura's connections, he will certainly have many helpers, so we will play it by ear when the time comes." As he finished speaking, Lu Chen took Douluo's hand. A vast divine might erupted from his body, shattering space and triggering a pillar of light that reached the heavens. At the end of that heavenly pillar, one could faintly perceive another world. That was the god realm. Any existence that achieves a breakthrough to divinity can trigger the favor of the god realm simply by unleashing their own divine might. Before stepping into that heavenly pillar, Lu Chen glanced at the several figures standing in the distance. Chrysanthemum Douluo, Ghost Douluo, the longevity sect is entrusted to you. Huyan Zhen, Principal Feng Lizun, Hu Wang Shu Bingyu, you must uphold the Longevity Academy. After all, this is something I founded, and I cannot bear to watch the Longevity Sect and Longevity Academy decline rapidly because of our departure. The two Douluo, Chrysanthemum and Ghost, as well as the members of the school board like Huyan Zhen, shouted with fanatical expressions. Please rest assured, Sect Master, Principal, we will certainly not let the Longevity Sect, Longevity Academy decline. Respectfully sending off the Sect Master, Principal on their ascension. What an honor it was for them to witness two divinities ascend with their own eyes. Moreover, these two divinities were the founders of the Longevity Sect and Longevity Academy. Based on this legacy alone, the Longevity Sect and Longevity Academy would not decline for at least 1,000 years. Lu Chen, having no more worries, held Douluo's hand tightly and walked together into that heavenly pillar of light. Moving upward along the pillar of light, Lu Chen and Douluo transformed into two intertwined beams of light, one seven-colored. One blue-gold, charging straight into the sky, as if to break through the shackles of the firmament. This earth-shaking phenomenon could be seen by almost half of the Douluo Continent. The vast majority of the common people had already knelt before the heavenly pillar, calling it a miracle, a manifestation of divinity. But for those knowledgeable spirit masters, all they could think of was Lu Chen's ascension. Had that divine rank powerhouse who saved the continent finally left the Douluo Continent today? Then, to whom would the Douluo Federation belong? Some were already getting excited, preparing to vie for power and seize the highest authority of the Douluo Federation. Others were filled with fear, worried that the Douluo Continent, having only recently been unified, would fall back into a state of fragmentation due to Lu Chen's departure. At the same time, in Douluo City, Qian Renxiu flew into the sky and looked at the heavenly pillar that seemed to be tearing the firmament apart, a look of distraction on her beautiful face. "Are you leaving so soon? To entrust the Douluo Federation to me so confidently, perhaps I still hold an important position in his heart, otherwise, why would he trust me so much? Since Lu Chen trusts me so much, I cannot let him down. The Douluo Federation is Lu Chen's heart and soul. I will not let it fall into chaos because of his departure." Thinking of this, Qian Renxiu spread her 6 angel wings. The holy and bright aura of the angel god quickly enveloped all of Douluo City and spread in all directions, slowly covering the entire Douluo continent. Like a great sun hanging above Douluo City, the angel god's divine thought conveyed Qian Renxiu's voice to every corner of the continent. "I am the angel god, Qian Renxiu. From now on, everything in the Douluo Federation will remain as it is. If any petty villains attempt to split the Douluo Federation or disrupt the peace of the Douluo continent, I shall bestow destruction upon them." This voice, containing supreme majesty, seemed to ring in the ears of everyone on the continent. Certain people with ulterior motives were instantly scared pale, their bodies trembling like chaff. So after Lu Chen left, another divinity had appeared on this continent. The angel god Qian Renxiu. If she continued to oversee the Douluo Federation, who would dare risk opposing a divinity to engage in petty schemes, vie for power, or split the Douluo Federation under her very nose? Lu Chen's arrangements before leaving had taken effect. As long as Qian Renxiu remained, the Douluo Federation could transition smoothly after his departure. Chapter 341, Meeting of the Gods. As the sea of clouds surged, the spiritual Qi was so thick it could not be dissolved, condensing into clusters of misty vapor. Being in the midst of it made one feel as if every pore had opened, absorbing the misty vapor, giving one the sensation of marrow cleansing and rebirth. Lu Chen was better off, but Du Guyan's reaction was stronger. Although Du Guyan had already become a divinity, absorbing the spiritual Qi of this god realm still caused earth-shaking changes within her body. Although her realm remained unchanged, it was clearly perceptible that Du Guyan's divine force had become purer and more imbued with divinity. Lu Chen, meanwhile, examined this god realm with great interest. This god realm appeared to have abundant spiritual Qi, 100 times stronger than the energy of heaven and earth in the Douluo Continent, yet hidden within that spiritual Qi was a heavy, stagnant air of decay. Lu Chen reached a startling conclusion: this god realm was heading toward a slow death. Furthermore, this god realm gave one the feeling that the sky was very low. Being in it was like being locked inside a small house. While it might feel comfortable in the short term due to the abundant spiritual Qi, after a period of time, the oppression, suffocation, boredom, and dullness would be like thorny vines, gradually binding themselves to one's heart, making one uncontrollably want to escape this place. Lu Chen thought to himself. No wonder divinities with high status and power in the god realm, like Asura and the sea god, would think about quickly passing on their god position and then leaving the god realm to roam the universe. After staying in this god realm for a long time, even a divinity would feel numb. According to the setup, this god realm is a small part of the original dragon god realm and was originally destined to fall apart. It was the 2 god kings and the 3 enforcers who used their respective god positions to support and stabilize this god realm. Divinities can leave, but the god position must remain. That is why even if Asura or the sea god want to leave, they must abandon their god position and divine artifact, and sacrifice a portion of their power to gain freedom. Just then, 10 divine officials wearing white robes arrived in 2 rows before Lu Chen and Du Guyan, bowing very respectfully and saying, "Greetings to the 2 lords, welcome to the god realm. The 2 god kings and the 3 enforcers have observed your arrival and are currently waiting for you at the god realm hub. All the gods are present today, firstly to let the gods meet you, and secondly, the 2 god kings and the 3 enforcers are prepared to announce your appointments in public. You have created your own god position, possess exceptional talent, and have peerless strength. The God Realm Committee will entrust you with important responsibilities." Lu Chen narrowed his eyes upon hearing this. Since Asura cannot kill me, he can only try to win me over. It seems this is Asura's confidence. Under the witness of the God King of Goodness, the God King of Evil, the Goddess of Life, the God of Destruction, and all the gods of the God Realm, he is betting that I will not dare to make a move against him. Then I will have to disappoint him. Even if all the gods of the god realm stand in my way today, Asura must die. If he does not die, I will not be satisfied, and the breath I am holding will not be able to flow smoothly. Lu Chen's voice was calm, with no detectable emotional fluctuations. Lead the way. These divine officials dared not disobey Lu Chen's wishes, bowed to him once more, and then led Lu Chen and Dugu Yan toward the God Realm Hub, where the gods were gathered. In a short while they arrived at the God Realm Hub, a majestic and towering palace. From the outside to the inside, everything was pure white. This place shouldn't be called the God Realm Hub, it should be called the White House. Lu Chen looked up. The surroundings were so white they reflected light. Passing through a corridor, they entered the interior of the God Realm Hub. 5 figures shrouded in lights of various colors sat upon a high platform, each figure exuding a terrifying aura, as if they were part of the origin of this world. Within the black light was one of the 2 god kings, the god king of evil. Within the white light was the other of the 2 god kings, the god king of goodness. Within the purple light was one of the 3 enforcers, the god of destruction. Within the green light was one of the 3 enforcers, the goddess of life. Within the blood-colored light was one of the 3 enforcers, the Asura god. All around there were rows of circular steps. On these circular steps, a figure sat every 3 meters, their bodies shrouded in divine light. Each figure was a divinity. The further forward one was, the thicker the divine light, indicating at least a first-class god. The further back one was, the thinner the divine light, indicating mostly second-class or third-class gods. At this moment, these first-class, second-class and third-class gods all cast their gazes upon Lu Chen, their eyes filled with curiosity and awe, with both friendly and malicious gazes. If there were no surprises, those casting malicious gazes were definitely in cahoots with Asura. Lu Chen was not in a hurry to make a move. He wanted to see how Asura would face him. On the high platform, the 5 god kings had different expressions. The god king of evil and the god king of goodness looked at Lu Chen with more curiosity and the look of spectators watching a show. They might as well have had bystander written on their faces. The goddess of life and the god of destruction looked at Lu Chen with great intimacy. To some extent, they were Lu Chen's angel investors. It was the goddess of life, seed of life, and the god of destruction, seed of destruction, that allowed Lu Chen to finally comprehend the power of creation and become a creator god at the level of a supreme god king. As for the Asura god, his gaze toward Lu Chen appeared indifferent and devoid of any emotion, but a deeply hidden malice within it could not deceive Lu Chen's perception at all. At this moment, the Asura god stood up, and the blood-colored light surged like fresh blood, dyeing the entire god realm hub in a bloody hue. Perhaps because he harbored ill intentions, his tone was somewhat aggressive. Lu Chen, you were originally a spirit master on the Douluo Continent, with a special physique and extraordinary talent. You received the gifts of the goddess of life and the god of destruction, created your own god position, and cultivated to become a, forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks. Having achieved the position of Supreme God King, you have now come to the God Realm. After deliberation by the God Realm Committee, as long as you integrate your God position into the God Realm, you can become a member of the God Realm Committee, standing equal to the 2 God Kings and the 3 enforcers, and become one of the managers of the God Realm. Lu Chen frowned. Was Asura's aggressive tone intentional or accidental? Who exactly was the Supreme God King, him or Asura? Why was he so bold, daring to speak to him in such a tone? The faces of the goddess of life and the god of destruction, shrouded in divine light, also revealed a hint of dissatisfaction. With this tone from Asura, those who didn't know better would think he was interrogating a criminal. As Lu Chen's angel investors, the goddess of life and the god of destruction naturally viewed Lu Chen as one of their own, so they naturally felt dissatisfied with how Asura treated him. Then there were the god king of evil and the god king of goodness, these 2 who loved to watch the chaos. They looked at Lu Chen with great interest, seemingly curious about how Lu Chen would respond. Facing the aggressive Asura god, Lu Chen spoke in a chilling tone. Asura, back on the Douluo Continent, I told you to wash your neck clean and wait for me to ascend to the God Realm. Now that I am here, it is time for you to die. Everyone, this is a grudge between Asura and me. I do not wish to implicate others, so please do not stop me. Chapter 342. infighting among the 5 god kings. As the words fell, the god realm hub erupted in an uproar. The Asura god was an elder of the god realm and one of the members of the god realm committee, possessing the authority to manage and judge all divinities. Chen had arrived and immediately declared his intention to settle scores with the Asura god. For the divinities, this was truly too shocking. A look of panic had already appeared on the faces of some divinities. Chen and the Asura god were at loggerheads, and regardless of who won or lost, the god realm would likely be destroyed by the aftermath of their power. Pairs of eyes immediately turned toward the god of evil, the god king of goodness, the goddess of life, and the god of destruction, hoping they would step forward and take a stand. Whether it was to appease Chen or suppress him, they needed to come up with a plan. Amidst the shroud of black light, the god king of evil stood up, and a slightly low, hoarse, yet magnetic voice emerged from his mouth. Let this god king say a word of justice. Generally speaking, people who constantly talk about saying a word of justice are always extremely biased. Sure enough, the god king of evil stood with the Asura god. Chen, we are generally aware of the grievances between you and the Asura god. We are not unreasonable divinities. If you want to vent your anger, we can let the Asura god have a proper fight with you. But if you want to kill the Asura god, then we have no choice but to stop you. The Asura god is a member of the God Realm Committee and one of the oldest elders in the God Realm. He carries the safety of the God Realm and the 108 lower realms managed by the God Realm on his shoulders. If he dies, both the God Realm and the 108 lower realms will fall into chaos, and this God King will absolutely not allow such a thing to happen. I have said all that needs to be said. Now tell this God King, what choice do you intend to make? While the God King of Evil was speaking, the Asura god looked at Chen with an indifferent expression, his eyes mixed with mockery and amusement. As if saying, even if I have tried to kill you many times, the most you can do is beat me up. You simply cannot kill me. This was the source of the Asura god's confidence. At this moment, even the goddess of life, who was relatively close to Chen and regarded him as one of her own, stood up to persuade him. Chen, the god king of evil, is right. Although I am also dissatisfied with the Asura god's arbitrariness and tyranny, the god realm truly cannot do without him. Especially the god-forbidden land, where a monster is sealed. It took the combined power of our 5 god kings to barely suppress that monster. Once the god realm loses the Asura god, the power sealing the monster will become unbalanced, and that monster will break through the seal. It will be a devastating disaster for the god realm and the 108 lower realms. We cannot act on impulse. The goddess of life's gentle nature made her prone to trying to smooth things over. She appeared to be standing on neutral ground, but in reality, she was extremely biased. She thought highly of Chen, but her loyalty leaned toward the Asura god, and she did not want to see Chen seek revenge against him. However, as soon as the goddess of life finished speaking, the god of destruction immediately stood up. He did not echo the goddess of life, but instead looked at Chen with burning eyes. Chen, actually, it is not impossible for you to kill the Asura god. With your strength, you are fully capable of replacing him. As long as you are willing to become a member of the God Realm Committee, take over the burdens the Asura god carries, and after killing him, cooperate with us to go to the God-forbidden land to reseal that monster, then this God King can support you in killing the Asura god. Once these words were spoken, the goddess of life was the first to look at the god of destruction in disbelief. Little Zai, you. The God King of evil and the God King of goodness, the divine light around these 2 God Kings fluctuated violently, clearly also greatly shocked by the words of the God King of destruction. Even if Chen was fully capable of replacing the Asura god in terms of strength, the 5 God Kings had lived together for many years. They were not only siblings without blood relations, but also comrades who had fought side by side. It was absolutely impossible to allow Chen to slay the Asura god. Yet the god of destruction had actually promised Chen that as long as Chen was willing to take the Asura god's place, he would allow Chen to slay him. This was simply too shocking. The Asura god's expression changed drastically. The blood-colored light around him surged violently, turning into a sea of corpses and blood, and boundless killing intent eroded toward the god of destruction. Destruction, what do you mean by this? We have known each other for so many years, yet you are helping an outsider. Do you want to watch me die? The purple light shrouding the god king of destruction flickered, instantly extinguishing the boundless killing intent. He said in a cold voice, "If your death can win a future for the god realm, then I would be very happy to see you die." The god realm is now moribund and gradually heading toward extinction. The status quo we are trying our best to maintain is merely making the god realm fade away a little more slowly. Look at the god realm today. It is suffocating and oppressive. The divinities of the god realm are either indulging in pleasure and rotting away all day, or they are like you, wanting to abandon the god realm. I have long been unable to stand it. I am the god king of destruction, yet I can only watch the god realm step by step move toward destruction. I have long wanted to change all of this. Only by breaking the old and establishing the new can the god realm embrace a new future. In Liu Chen, I see the hope for the god realm to break the old and establish the new. And you, Usura, since you disregard the future of this god realm and want to abandon it, we are now strangers. The god realm that you cast aside like worn-out shoes is the only home in my heart. Usura, rest assured and accept your death. The god of destruction's scolding did not just berate the Asura god, it also included the vast majority of the divinities present. Among the divinities who wanted to run away were the Asura god, the sea god, and those who wanted to lie flat and rot away were even more numerous. Among the divinities present, very few had truly thought about the future of the god realm. After the god of destruction finished his scolding, the entire place was silent. Those with a sense of shame had already lowered their heads in embarrassment at this moment. As for the Asura god, his eyes were bloodshot, and he roared like a panting ox. "Fine. Very well. Destruction. All these years of brotherhood have been in vain. Only today did I discover that you actually wish for my death. Then there is nothing more to say. I will absolutely not surrender to you. Evil, goodness, are you standing on destruction's side or on my side?" The god king of evil and the god king of goodness felt extremely troubled at this moment. The development of events had somewhat exceeded their expectations. Originally, as long as the 5 god kings were united, they were enough to contend with or even eliminate a supreme god king. After all, even the dragon god back then was no match for the 5 god kings combined. But now, the god king of destruction had chosen Liu Chen, wanting to rely on him to win a future for the god realm. Without the god king of destruction, no one was a match for Liu Chen, this supreme god king. The god king of evil acted as a peacemaker again at this moment. "I think we can sit down and have a proper talk. It does not necessarily have to come to a fight. Once the god realm is sunk, none of us will benefit. Destruction, Asura and Liu Chen, give this god king of evil some face. We can always come up with a solution that everyone can accept." At this moment, when everything had turned into a chaotic mess, Liu Chen burst into laughter. He had originally prepared himself to be the enemy of the entire god realm, but it turned out that the god king of destruction was willing to support him. The terrifying pressure of the supreme god king swept out from his body like a volcanic eruption. "God king of destruction, I promise you, after I eliminate the Asura god, I will take his place in the god realm." Chapter 343, Asura god, no bones left. Once he distinguished friend from foe, Liu Chen no longer had any misgivings. He raised the destruction war scythe, his body moving like a flash of light, arriving in an instant, and slashed directly at the Asura god's head. In his haste, the Asura god summoned the Asura demon sword to block in front of him, narrowly blocking the strike. Clang! With a dull thud, the force of the blow scattered, shattering the space. Fortunately, the Asura demon sword was a super divine artifact, so it wasn't severed by Liu Chen's blade, but a huge notch was carved into it. The peerless force spread over, causing the hand the Asura god used to hold the sword to tremble. The force vibrated through his arm into his internal organs, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood as his body uncontrollably flew backward. Boom, booms, boom. The Asura god smashed through wall after wall, being knocked directly out of the god realm hub. The sound of air explosions was continuous, and the entire god realm was trembling. The god king of evil and the god king of goodness could not watch the Asura god be killed. They each erupted with their divine force, and black and white lights intertwined and bloomed, as if space itself had solidified, and everything within it had also been frozen. The black and white light spread toward Liu Chen. But it was blocked by the god of destruction. The god of destruction said with his back to Liu Chen, "Liu Chen, go do what you want to do, but do not forget the promise you made to this god king." Lu Chen laughed heartily. I, Lu Chen, keep my word. Once the words fell, Lu Chen chased after the Asura god. The god king of evil's voice was low but still magnetic. Destruction. Do you really want to watch Lu Chen kill the Asura god? He is a comrade and partner who has fought side by side with us since the beginning of the god realm. The god of destruction took out the destruction scepter, already prepared for a battle against the god king of evil and the god king of goodness. His eyes flashed with a resolute light of sparing no cost. Evil, goodness, do not think that just because I scolded the Asura god, I will not scold you too. As divinities who have existed since the inception of the god realm, you too are now just watching the god realm gradually move toward extinction without making any preparations. Fine, since you won't do it, I will. I want to change the world. I want to break and then rebuild. I want to let the god realm be reborn. Evil, goodness, if you want to stop me, then I will have no choice but to treat you as enemies. Little green, this time you must stand with me. I can no longer turn back. The goddess of life fell into conflict. Her gentle personality, being gentle with everyone, easily made it difficult for her to grasp the situation at important times. Little purple, is there really no possibility of a peaceful resolution? The god of destruction forced a smile. There is no possibility. The goddess of life heard the loss in the god of destruction's words, and this time, she finally stood firmly on the side of the god of destruction. All right, little purple, I believe in you. When the goddess of life and the god of destruction stood together against the god of evil and the god of goodness, the terrifying fluctuations of divine force they triggered caused the entire god realm hub to tremble. The other gods, whether first tier, second tier, or third tier gods, were basically trembling in fear. Internal strife among god kings, if one is not careful, could truly sink the god realm. It hadn't truly started fighting on this side yet, but on the other side, the battle was intense. That couldn't even be called a battle, it was effectively a one-sided beating. Lu Chen followed like a shadow, tightly pursuing the Asura god. His blade light was like lightning, unstoppable, and every slash left a long, narrow notch on the Asura demon's sword or the Asura divine armor. Lu Chen was not in a hurry to finish off the Asura god. He was toying with the Asura god slowly, like a cat playing with a mouse. This was a response to the attitude the Asura god had displayed just moments ago. Lu Chen spoke unhurriedly. Asura, weren't you quite arrogant just now? Looking at me with that high and mighty gaze, you thought that evil, goodness, destruction, and life would all turn against me to protect you. That is why you were fearless, thinking that I could not kill you today. But what is the result? Your plan has failed, and today you will undoubtedly die. The Asura god's eyes were cold, his chest heaving violently. His Asura divine armor was damaged in many places, and dark red blood seeped out, making him look like a bloody man. As the enforcer of the god realm, the Asura god rarely had such disheveled moments. He felt very sad and angry, with a sense of being betrayed. I just wanted freedom. What did I do wrong? I wanted to leave the god realm, but I didn't recklessly leave without regard for anything. I was trying my best to cultivate a successor to take my place. This god realm, although it looks luxurious, is actually a prison. Who would genuinely treat a prison as a home? I calculated everything, single-mindedly wanting to pursue freedom, but I didn't expect a variable like you to appear. It seems my life will end here today. I accept my defeat. Since there is no way to obtain freedom, then I will drag everyone down to hell with me. This god realm will be destroyed sooner or later, so let it be destroyed by my hands today. The Asura god, whose life was coming to an end, did not scream hysterically or curse loudly. Instead, he accepted it all quite calmly and coldly intended to destroy the god realm directly. Blood prison Asura, hell is emptied. This was an attack technique of the Asura domain. In the Asura domain of mountains of corpses and seas of blood, the bones of the opponents killed by the Asura god actually stood up one by one, with blood-red soul flames burning in their empty eye sockets. This was the terrifying aspect of the Asura domain. Enemies killed by the Asura god would be eroded by the Asura god's killing intent, their bones becoming a part of the Asura domain, increasing the power of the Asura domain. The ultimate form of the Asura domain was to let these killed bones come back to life and restore the power they had in life. In other words, as long as the Asura god killed enough enemies, the power of this move, hell is emptied, would become increasingly terrifying. The smile on Lu Chen's face faded, his expression turning solemn. Asura, I originally wanted to deal with you slowly, but since you intend to destroy the god realm, I cannot let you live now. Once these words were spoken, Lu Chen opened his mouth and spat out a 7-colored bead. That was his innate Tao seed, and also his creation god core. That 7-colored bead floated in midair like a great sun hanging high. The 7-colored light illuminated the heavens and the earth, and wherever it passed, the boundless sea of blood and the bones within the sea of blood were all ultimately purified into nothingness. No, the Asura god screamed in disbelief. This was one of his trump cards. How could that soft 7-colored halo, which looked like it had no power, so easily purify his blood prison? In the next moment, a cluster of soft 7-colored halo shone on the Asura god. The Asura god immediately discovered in astonishment that his body was disappearing in a physical sense, and the Sura divine force within his body, which was enough to destroy the world, was also purified into nothingness. Is this the power that truly belongs to the Supreme God King level? Before the Asura god completely disappeared, he muttered to himself with dull eyes, and then his body was completely purified into nothingness. This Asura god, who had once caused Lu Chen quite a lot of trouble, ultimately died at the hands of Lu Chen, with no bones left. Chapter 344, Golden Dragon King. Sigh. The moment the Asura god's aura vanished, the god king of evil, the god king of goodness, the god of destruction, and the goddess of life all sensed it. After all, they were companions who had spent tens of thousands of years together day and night. Even as gods, they could not suppress a touch of sorrow rising in their hearts. The god king of evil withdrew all his divine force. Since the Asura god was dead, he had no reason to continue fighting. He cast a cold glance at the god of destruction. Destruction, the Asura god has already paid the price of his life for his actions. I hope you will not regret the decision you made today. The Asura god is dead, and the seal of the God-forbidden land cannot hold for much longer. We were the ones who sealed the Golden Dragon King, who represents the evil side of the Dragon God. Given the Golden Dragon King's hatred for us, it will surely retaliate against us the moment it breaks the seal. We should save our energy and prepare to deal with the Golden Dragon King. The god of destruction did not regret today's decision. He trusted his judgment. Lu Chen would absolutely not let him down. I will take Lu Chen to the God-forbidden land immediately. The Golden Dragon King will never have the chance to run rampant. All gods, return to your positions and attend to your duties. While we battle the Golden Dragon King, what you need to do is protect the God Realm Hub and protect the God Realm. Little Grain, let's go. As he finished speaking, the god of destruction took the goddess of life and left the God Realm Hub. Although the God King of Evil and the God King of Goodness felt extremely resentful about the situation spiraling out of control, they could not watch the Golden Dragon King destroy the God Realm. The God King of Evil gave an order. Listen to the God of Destruction, all gods, attend to your duties. Subsequently, the God King of Evil and the God King of Goodness also chased after the God of Destruction and the Goddess of Life. As for the other gods, they transformed into streaks of light, flew out of the God Realm Hub, and returned to their respective divine palaces. Streaks of multicolored light soared into the sky from the divine palaces, resembling pillars supporting the heavens. To a certain extent, these first-class, second-class, and third-class divinities were the foundation of the God Realm's stability. Meanwhile, the God of Destruction had already reunited with Lu Chen. The aura emanating from Lu Chen made the God of Destruction feel a sense of closeness. After all, Lu Chen's power of creation came from the God of Destruction's power of destruction and the Goddess of Life's power of life. The God of Destruction said in a deep voice, "Lu Chen, since you have avenged yourself, come with me quickly." With the Asura god dead, the seal of the God-forbidden land can no longer hold the Golden Dragon King for much longer. The God of Destruction paused, then quickly explained. By the way, the Golden Dragon King is the monster sealed in the God-forbidden land. I will keep it brief. Once there was a supreme god king named the Dragon God. For reasons unknown, he suddenly went mad. To eliminate the maddened Dragon God, we, the 5 god kings of the God Realm, joined forces to split the Dragon God in two. The one who inherited the evil side of the Dragon God is the Golden Dragon King. He possesses the most formidable physical body in the world, and power infinitely close to that of a supreme god king. We exhausted every means to seal the Golden Dragon King in the God-forbidden land. As for the other one, the Silver Dragon King, who inherited the rational side of the dragon god, she took the opportunity to escape to the lower realm, and her whereabouts remain unknown to this day. If the Golden Dragon King is unleashed, given its tyrannical nature, it would be a disaster for both the god realm and the lower realm. I tacitly allowed you to eliminate the Asura god. Now it is time for you to help me reseal this monster. Chen was not an ungrateful person. Beyond his own innate Tao body that grew stronger just by breathing, his ability to eventually become a god of creation was largely thanks to the god of destruction's seed of destruction and the goddess of life's seed of life. Now, facing the god of destruction's request, Chen agreed without hesitation. I killed the Asura god, so I will naturally bear the consequences of all this. Please lead the way, seniors. I will personally handle that Golden Dragon King. The god of destruction and the goddess of life's eyes became exceptionally gentle upon hearing this. They had chosen to help Chen, and indeed, Chen had not let them down. Subsequently, the three of them tore through space and rushed toward the God-forbidden land at maximum speed. The God-forbidden land. It was also a part of the former dragon god realm, but compared to the god realm, which was rich in celestial spiritual energy, the God-forbidden land was a complete ruin. There was no heaven and earth energy here to absorb, let alone the celestial spiritual energy that could allow one to be reborn. All that existed was extremely violent chaos flow. Although this could be considered a form of energy, even a divinity would need to spend a long time refining it after absorbing even a wisp of the chaos flow. In the ruins of the God-forbidden land, there was a plaza shrouded in 5-colored light. The 5 colors were black, white, purple, green, and red, the colors of the divine forces of the 5 god kings. Beneath this plaza, the Golden Dragon King was suppressed. And these 5-colored lights, black, white, purple, green, and red, interwove to form a grand formation. No matter how the Golden Dragon King charged, it could not break through the seal of this grand formation. Rumble, rumble. The Golden Dragon King was worthy of being a part of the dragon god. As a terrifying existence that had inherited the dragon god's physical strength, even after being sealed, the Golden Dragon King bombarded the seal day and night. In the original plot, if not for the spatial temporal turbulence, the Golden Dragon King would not have been able to break the seal on its own. But now, the Asura god had died at the hands of Chen. The red light among the 5 colors, black, white, purple, green, and red, was rapidly dimming. The Asura divine force, representing the Asura god, was gradually dissipating from the formation. Asura hahaha, the Asura's power has vanished. This damned seal can never trap this king again. Break for this king. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks. Roars that shook the heavens and earth emanated, faintly, from beneath the plaza. Upon discovering that the Asura god's power had vanished, the Golden Dragon King became increasingly frantic and reckless, charging against the seal with all its might, time and time again. Rumble, rumble. When the Asura god's power completely faded, the remaining 4 colors, black, white, purple, and green, the 4 divine forces, although still trying their best to support the seal, had the seal's strength drop by more than a level because it had lost the Asura divine force. The divine force within the seal became imbalanced, and the energy circulation began to stutter, like an old machine lacking lubricating oil, becoming increasingly unable to cope. Finally, after a dozen breaths, accompanied by a heaven-shaking boom, the seal shattered, divine force scattered, whipping up a monstrous energy storm that tore through space and shattered everything. The God-forbidden land, already a ruin, was left with nothing remaining amidst that energy storm. Blinding golden light soared into the sky from the dilapidated plaza, and a golden giant dragon, fully 1,000 meters in size, coiled and circled in the sky. One could see that the golden giant dragon's body was covered in knotted muscles, with thick, golden scales interlocking like a mountain, giving a feeling of being indestructible. Its dragon head was an inverted triangle, its eyes were blood-red and filled with tyranny, opening its massive maw. 2 rows of bone-white teeth emitted a fierce aura not inferior to a super-divine artifact. This was the Golden Dragon King, possessing the physical strength of the dragon god, with power infinitely close to that of a supreme god king. Ha 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 ha, this king is finally free. Evil, goodness, destruction, life, Asura, back then you sealed this king. Now that this king has broken the seal, I will surely tear you all to pieces one by one and devour you. Only then can I eliminate the hatred in this king's heart. Chapter 345. The Truth Behind the Dragon God's Madness. God Forbidden Land. The god of destruction, the goddess of life, Lu Chen, the evil god king, and the god king of goodness. Just as they arrived one after another, what they saw was the golden dragon king, which had already broken the seal. That massive body, over 1,000 meters long, stretched across the entire sky. The overwhelming pressure swept out, and even the four god kings had extremely grim expressions. Only Lu Chen looked as calm as ever. Even though the golden dragon king's terrifying pressure crashed into him, it only made him feel as if a gentle breeze were brushing against his face. The evil god king looked solemn, glancing at Lu Chen with some annoyance. Damn it, we're still a step too late. If Asura hadn't died, the golden dragon king would never have had a day where it could break the seal. Lu Chen sensed the malice from the evil god king, but he ignored it directly. Now deal with the golden dragon king first. After solving this trouble, he would go and deal with the evil god king. It just so happened that the evil god king's god position was quite suitable for Zhu Zhuking. Zhu Zhuking had absorbed the dark demon evil god bead and possessed the evil attributes of the dark demonic evil god tiger. Truth be told, the dark demonic evil god tiger was originally just a normal white tiger. It was the evil god king's twisted hobby to descend his power onto the white tiger, causing it to mutate and become the dark demonic evil god tiger, which represented depravity. Now Zhu Zhuking's attributes were from the same source as the evil god king. As long as Lu Chen put in a little effort, he could drive away the evil god king and leave the god position to Zhu Zhuking. The god of destruction summoned the destruction war scythe, divine force surging within his body. Having prepared for battle, he spoke calmly. Now is not the time to talk about this. Since the golden dragon king has broken free, we just need to seal it up again. We were able to seal the golden dragon king the first time, so we can seal it a second time. Meanwhile, the golden dragon king also noticed the four god kings and Lu Chen who had arrived. Roar! The golden dragon king opened its massive mouth and let out a roar. In its scarlet beast eyes, resentment and hatred flickered. Evil, goodness, destruction, life, you've come just in time. This king is looking to take revenge on you. After sealing this king for so long, I will tear you to pieces and eat every single one of you. Why don't I see Asura? Was it because his power declined that I had the chance to break the seal? I'll eat Asura first. Lu Chen looked at the golden dragon king, his tone indifferent. Asura is already dead. I killed him with my own hands. Since it was Asura's death that gave you the chance to escape, I have a responsibility to seal you back in. Or how about I just finish you off? If I seal you away, I still have to worry about you potentially escaping, but if I finish you off, I can solve the problem once and for all. How prideful was the golden dragon king. Hearing Lu Chen's unconcealed contempt, the anger in its heart burned like a flame. What kind of thing do you think you are? You want to kill this king too? Since Asura is dead, I'll eat you first. As soon as the words fell, the golden dragon king charged forward. Sonic booms echoed and space distorted. That peerless impact made the god of destruction, the goddess of life, the evil god king, and the god king of goodness all change color. Only Lu Chen's expression remained unchanged. He took the initiative to meet it, his body swift as a gale and fast as lightning. He raised his right leg and brought it crashing down on the golden dragon king's head. Demon Whale Axe. Dark red light burst forth continuously, condensing into a straight line. It was extremely sharp, tearing through space silently. Parche. Accompanied by the sound of flesh being torn, Lu Chen's demon whale axe hacked into the golden dragon king's head. Lu Chen's stature was quite tall, 2 meters in height, tall and upright, but compared to the 1,000-meter-long golden dragon king, it was like a drop in the ocean, completely disproportionate. Yet in this completely disproportionate situation, Lu Chen split the golden dragon king's head open with one kick and sent its massive body flying backward. The golden dragon king let out a painful howl. Its massive body kicked up a gale, shattering space, and crashed into the plaza in ruins. The earth shook and spiderweb-like cracks spread across the ground. How could the golden dragon king, which was infinitely close to a supreme god king, be a match for Lu Chen, a genuine supreme god king. After kicking the Golden Dragon King away, Lu Chen raised his hand and summoned the Destruction War Scythe, throwing it forward. The Destruction War Scythe sped toward the Golden Dragon King's head like a black meteor. With a swoosh, the Destruction War Scythe pierced into the Golden Dragon King's head. Creation divine force spread out like runes, cutting off the Golden Dragon King's consciousness and control over its body. The Golden Dragon King's beast eyes were full of astonishment. It possessed the body of the dragon god and had the most powerful physical body in the world, yet it now couldn't even feel the existence of its own body. It still had consciousness, and the consciousness was even very clear, but it simply could not control its body. It couldn't even open its mouth to speak. The evil god king, the god king of goodness, the god of destruction, and the goddess of life were all stunned for a moment. They had expected a bitter battle, but Lu Chen had sealed the Golden Dragon King so cleanly and efficiently that it left them in silence. It seemed they had all underestimated the power of a supreme god king. At this moment, Lu Chen landed on the Golden Dragon King's head and released his divine thought, invading the Golden Dragon King's brain. It impacted its spirit like a tidal wave. Even though the Golden Dragon King resisted with all its might under Lu Chen's continuous erosion, its mental defenses shattered, and Lu Chen successfully read its memories. Discarding the irrelevant memories, Lu Chen actually found some useful information in the Golden Dragon King's memories. It was about the Dragon God. When the Dragon God's strength reached the level of a supreme god king, it wanted to promote the Dragon God realm into a god star. But whether it was opening up a plane or upgrading a plane, it required a tremendous price. Even as a supreme god king, if the Dragon God wanted to upgrade the Dragon God realm into a god star, it would have to pay a painful price, or even sacrifice itself to become a pillar supporting the sky, in order to stabilize the upgraded god star. But that guy, the Dragon God, wasn't that generous. It didn't want to sacrifice itself, but it still wanted the Dragon God realm to be upgraded to a god star. So it finally decided to slaughter all living beings and use their blood as a sacrifice to stabilize the upgraded god star. A sudden realization dawned on Lu Chen. So the Dragon God hadn't been schemed against at all. This Golden Dragon King was the evil side of the Dragon God, which was why it knew about the Dragon God's evil intentions back then. The Dragon God had just been greedy. It wanted both things. It wanted the Dragon God realm to upgrade to a god star, and it didn't want to sacrifice itself. Lu Chen thought of some legends from his past life. After Pangu created the world, in order to prevent the created world from being crushed by chaos, he sacrificed himself and merged into the world he had created. This Dragon God was just a sordid fellow. It didn't want to sacrifice itself, so it chose to blood sacrifice all living beings. Finally, it met with resistance from the living beings and was cursed by their resentment, which led to it falling into a state of madness. Its own strength dropped significantly, and it was eventually split into the Golden Dragon King and the Silver Dragon King by the 5 God Kings. Lu Chen took a deep breath, so this was the truth from back then. Immediately he frowned. This god realm is only a small part of the original Dragon God realm, and it is stepping toward destruction step by step. I brought my family and friends to this world because I wanted them to achieve eternal life and live happily in the god realm. So I definitely have to create a plane, or at least expand this god realm. But for this kind of plane upgrading, not only do you need the power of a supreme god king, you also need to be able to hold up the upgraded plane so that it won't be crushed by chaos. How should this be solved? Although I don't consider myself a bad person, I don't want to sacrifice myself to stabilize the upgraded plane. To stabilize an upgraded plane, filling it with ordinary god kings is useless. You need at least the level of a supreme god king to withstand the power of chaos. A Golden Dragon King is only infinitely close to a supreme god king. If I find the Silver Dragon King and let the Golden Dragon King and the Silver Dragon King merge into one, completely restoring the Dragon God's power, then with the power of the Dragon God at the Supreme God King level, it could serve as a pillar to support the sky and withstand the power of chaos. Lu Chen's eyes grew brighter and brighter. He had finally found a win-win solution. It could expand the God realm, upgrade the plane, allow his family and friends to live forever and live happily in the future, and he wouldn't have to sacrifice himself. Lu Chen made a decision in his heart. That's it. Lu Chen decided to expand the God realm, at least enough so the God realm wouldn't be swept away by the space-time turbulence. In the original plot, the God realm managed by Tang San was really too pathetic. it was actually swept away by a single spacetime turbulence. Chapter 346, Returning to the Lake of Life. The god of destruction drifted over to observe the Golden Dragon King at close range. The terrifying pressure that washed over him still made him feel a weight on his shoulders. Yet even such a terrifying Golden Dragon King had not managed to last a single move at the hands of Chen. The god of destruction once again gained a profound realization of just how unfathomable Chen's strength was. Chen, I truly did not misjudge you. Since you have already captured this Golden Dragon King, then as you said just now, kill this Golden Dragon King to avoid having to be on guard at all times against the Golden Dragon King breaking the seal. Kill him once and for all. Upon hearing this, Chen shook his head and refused. Senior, I have a better idea. I have probed the Golden Dragon King's memories, and from them, I found the reason why the Dragon God went mad in the past. The Dragon God wanted to elevate the Dragon God realm into a God star, but such a plain elevation requires sufficiently stable support. The Dragon God was unwilling to sacrifice himself, so he chose to sacrifice the common people with blood, ultimately leading to madness due to the curses of the common people. Chen then spoke his thoughts with a gleam in his eyes. Our current God realm is being eroded by chaos. Its destruction is only a matter of time. To prevent the destruction of the God realm, the only way is to continue expanding the God realm. Expanding the God realm is, in fact, elevating the plane. With my power as a supreme God King, I can indeed push for the plane's elevation. But without sufficient support, the elevated plane cannot stabilize and could be crushed by chaos at any moment. Look at this Golden Dragon King. If we were to fill him into the elevated God realm, it would be enough to expand the God realm to the size of the Dragon God realm. We can even go a step further and find the Silver Dragon King, allowing the Silver Dragon King and the Golden Dragon King to merge into one, restoring the power of the former Dragon God Supreme God King. With the mass of the Dragon God Supreme God King, as long as we fill him in, we can accomplish the feat that even the Dragon God could not, elevating the God realm into a God star. Senior, I believe you will understand me. The breaking before establishing that you want is simply to change the destined outcome of this God realm's destruction. The god of destruction's breath hitched. Chen was right. In the current God realm, one could not see a glimmer of a future. The gods either wanted to lie flat or run away. The god of destruction saw this in his eyes and felt anxious in his heart. Back then, he had handed his seed of destruction to Chen, who already possessed the seed of life, sparing no effort to create such a creation god as Chen. It was all because he hoped this variable could break the predetermined fate of the God realm. Now that Chen had proposed such a concept that could successfully expand the God realm, the god of destruction agreed without hesitation. Chen, I support you. As long as it can expand the God realm, I, the god of destruction, will definitely help out. Just as Chen and the god of destruction were discussing things well, the evil God King couldn't help but step out and pour cold water on them. You are thinking quite beautifully, but do you know where the Silver Dragon King is? The Silver Dragon King is the rational side of the Dragon God and possesses the Dragon God's ability to control elements. Although she was injured in the battle back then, as long as she is determined to hide herself, even we God Kings cannot find the Silver Dragon King's location. Chen glanced at the evil God King with indifferent eyes. Then there is no need to trouble the evil God King. I will go find the Silver Dragon King myself. Senior Destruction, you watch the Golden Dragon King here. I will use my Destruction Warscythe to seal him. As long as the Destruction Warscythe is not pulled out, the Golden Dragon King will have no way to regain control of his body. I will go find the Silver Dragon King now. Wait for my good news. The god of destruction's brows were firm as he nodded and replied. Good, before you return, I will guard this place without stepping away. I will absolutely not let anyone take advantage of the situation to pull out the Destruction Warscythe. Chen did not look at the evil God King again. His figure flashed, and he flew away from the God-forbidden land, tearing through space to return to the Douluo Continent. He had only just left the Douluo Continent a short while ago. In order not to interfere with the normal development of the continent, he did not expose his aura and did not appear before anyone. He went straight to the core of the Stardew Great Forest, the Lake of Life. Upon arriving here, Chen truly revealed himself and exposed a trace of his aura, startling the two gatekeeper beasts guarding the Lake of Life, the Sky Azure Bull Python and the Titan Giant Ape. Originally, they had sensed a terrifying, extreme divine rank pressure, which had terrified them and left them feeling uneasy. But when they distinguished the extremely familiar aura belonging to Chen from that divine rank pressure, the tense emotions immediately relaxed. Then, both surprised and delighted, they went up to greet him. Seeing that it was indeed Chen, the Titan Giant Ape asked curiously in a booming voice, "Chen, why are you back? Was it not just a short while ago that you ascended to the God Realm? How can you come back after going to the God Realm?" The Sky Azure Bull Python sensed something unusual. For a divinity like Chen to return after leaving and come to their Stardew Great Forest, he definitely wasn't coming for the two of them. "Chen, I wonder what business you have coming to our Stardew Great Forest this time." Chen's gaze swept over the Sky Azure Bull Python and the Titan Giant Ape. He smiled slightly and answered off-topic. "Ming, long time no see. Judging by the aura radiating from you, you both have nearly 190,000 years of cultivation. You are not far from the 200,000-year vicious beast threshold. It seems the 7-star dragon tongue orchid I gave you back then was a great help to you." Hearing Chen mention this matter, both the Sky Azure Bull Python and the Titan Giant Ape revealed expressions of gratitude in their beast eyes. Thanks to the immortal herb given by Chen, plus the fact that they were cultivating in the Lake of Life, a place rich in life aura, they were able to smoothly possess 190,000 years of cultivation. The Sky Azure Bull Python's eyes held expectation, and it spoke in a confident tone. "My bloodline and Mings are not bad. I believe that as long as we accumulate for a while longer, we will be sure to pass the 200,000-year heavenly tribulation and truly become vicious beast-level spirit beasts." Chen nodded and encouraged them. "Then keep up the good work. I am preparing to do big things in the God Realm and expand the God Realm. The current God Realm is too narrow. It can only accommodate humans becoming gods, but it cannot accommodate spirit beasts becoming gods. After I expand the God Realm, I will be able to modify the rules of the God Realm. In the future, you will also have the chance to become gods and ascend to the God Realm. Zyro Wu and I will be waiting for you in the God Realm. Additionally, I am not here to find you this time. I am here to find your spirit beast sovereign to discuss something with her." Upon hearing Chen's words, the Sky Azure Bull Python and the Titan Giant Ape fell into a state of total bewilderment. Expand the God Realm. Spirit beasts becoming gods. They also have a chance to become gods and ascend to the God Realm. This caused the brains of the Sky Azure Bull Python and the Titan Giant Ape to directly crash. Chen did not say anything more to them. He bypassed the Titan Giant Ape and the Sky Azure Bull Python and walked to the location of the Lake of Life. Only at this moment did the Sky Azure Bull Python wake up from its daze and hurriedly try to stop Chen. "Chen, don't go in." Chen did not pay attention to the Sky Azure Bull Python. He raised his hand and threw a punch, tearing through space and opening a passage leading to the space at the bottom of the lake. Then his figure flashed, and he headed to the space at the bottom of the lake. Chapter 347, Silver Dragon King. The moment Chen appeared in the space at the bottom of the lake, several extremely powerful attacks bombarded him head-on. Dragon God Claw, Sky-Ripping Claw, Hellfire Rush, Mystic Water Split. Later, facing the various attacks bombarding him from all directions, Chen let out a cold snort. His divine force radiated from his body, transforming into ripples that oscillated outwards. In an instant, all the attacks were neutralized into nothingness, and the force struck back at the vicious beasts that had launched the attacks against Chen. Amidst a series of sounds of vomiting blood and screams, Daitian, Xingjun, these vicious beasts with hundreds of thousands of years of cultivation, were swept by a ring of Chen's divine force. They immediately began vomiting blood in large mouthfuls, their internal organs shaken, bones shattered, and their bodies fell to the ground like sacks of rags. Even though they were all vicious beasts, in front of Chen, they were nothing more than slightly stronger ants. Just a single breath from him could cripple them entirely. After dealing with Dai Tian, Xingjun, and these other oversized ants, Lu Chen flew toward the depths of the lake-bottom space. Before long, Lu Chen saw a pure white cocoon of light, several hundred meters in size. The aura emanating from the cocoon surpassed that of an ordinary divinity and had already reached the level of a god-king. However, it seemed the life form within the cocoon had suffered grievous injuries. Its aura was currently very weak, with its divine force fluctuations barely reaching the level of a second-rank god. If there were no surprises, the life form inside this cocoon was the Silver Dragon King. According to the original plot, the Silver Dragon King would need at least another 20,000 years to barely recover from her injuries. She was still in a state of unhealed, serious wounds. With Lu Chen's arrival, the pure white cocoon of light flashed with flickering, blinding colors. The blinding colors gradually converged, condensing into a humanoid phantom. It was the appearance of a beautiful woman, with a standard oval face, exquisite and stunning facial features, and ethereal eyes that seemed to possess a certain suction, making one unconsciously sink into them. Her slender willow-leaf eyebrows and waist-length hair were both pure white, complementing her crystal-clear, fair skin that resembled mutton-fat jade. She was draped in a light, gauze-like long dress, covering her flawless, perfect body. Looking further down, one could see the Silver Dragon King, her jade-like feet bare, stepping on the air. Her crystal-clear, plump toes would always make one think of a type of ice cream, the little pudding. This was the Silver Dragon King. She was the rational side of the dragon god, possessing the dragon god's ability to control elements. The Silver Dragon King looked at Lu Chen with cold eyes, pursing her lips. Her small face revealed a hint of determination. "You are here to capture me, aren't you? HMPH, I will never let you succeed. I once sensed your aura in the Stardew Great Forest. At that time, you were just a lowly spirit scholar. Heaven does not pity my spirit beast clan to have actually produced such a prodigy among human spirit masters. Had I known this, even at the risk of exposure, I should have wiped you out in advance." Before the Silver Dragon King could truly prepare to detonate her own physical form, Lu Chen acted instantly. His creation divine force swept out like a tidal wave, suppressing the restless pure white cocoon of light. Lu Chen spoke unhurriedly. "Silver Dragon King, I have indeed come for you this time. But I can offer you two choices. First, you return with me voluntarily, merge with the power of the Golden Dragon King, and restore the realm of the Dragon God as a supreme God King. I will sacrifice the Dragon God to expand the God realm. In the expanded God realm, considering your proactive contribution, I can leave a place for the spirit beasts, allowing spirit beasts that have cultivated for 1,000,000 years to also have the opportunity to become gods and ascend to the God realm. The current God realm is only a part of the original Dragon God realm. It is small and cannot accommodate more God positions. However, once the God realm is expanded, there will be room to accommodate more God positions. If you do not return with me, that means you have made the second choice. I will have no choice but to capture you. Even if you resist to the death, it will only cost me a little more time. If you not only fail to help when I expand the God realm, but also constantly hold me back, then do not blame me for ensuring your spirit beast clan can never rise again. There is no reward without contribution. If you are unwilling to contribute, then your spirit beast clan can just wait on the Douluo Continent for the day you are slaughtered to extinction by human spirit masters. That is all I have to say. Think about it carefully. I will give you a quarter of an hour to consider. This is the final mercy I grant your spirit beast clan for Zyro Wu's sake." The Silver Dragon King had originally been stubborn, intending to fight Lu Chen to the end. However, upon hearing what Lu Chen said, she could not help but fall into deep thought. As the master of spirit beasts, the Silver Dragon King had to consider the spirit beast clan. Although the spirit beast clan on the Douluo Continent had not yet reached the point of extinction, with the continuous hunting by human spirit masters, the number of high-level spirit beasts would only decrease. Century-level spirit beasts and millennium-level spirit beasts were fine, but those 10,000-year spirit beasts and 100,000-year spirit beasts, the true foundation of the spirit beast clan, required a long accumulation of time to grow. But did the spirit beast clan have room to resist? No. Not to mention the supreme god king before her. Even the angel god Kyan Renxu in Douluo City could slaughter all the high-level spirit beasts if she wished. Dai Tian, Xingjun, these vicious beasts with hundreds of thousands of years of cultivation, although powerful in combat, were simply not enough when facing true divinity powerhouses. The Silver Dragon King clenched her hands into fists tightly. If things went as Lu Chen said, perhaps it was truly possible to fight for a future for the Spirit Beast clan. She thought for a long time and asked a crucial question. If I merge with the Golden Dragon King to revive the Dragon God, and you use the Dragon God's power to expand the God realm, what will happen to the Dragon God in the end? Lu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly and did not hide anything from the Silver Dragon King. The Dragon God will become the cornerstone of the God realm, turning into mountains and rivers, turning into flowers, plants and trees, turning into the wind of the God realm, turning into the rain of the God realm. If you are willing to cooperate fully, I am confident I can preserve a wisp of your soul and reshape a body for you. Although you will no longer possess the power of the Dragon God, as long as you cultivate diligently, you will certainly be able to achieve a God position in the future. Hearing this result, the Silver Dragon King let out a long sigh. If it was only losing the power of the Dragon God, but could win a future for the Spirit Beast clan, then she was not unable to accept it. Now, the Silver Dragon King's last question was this human before her worthy of trust? The Silver Dragon King thought for a long time again, before the quarter-hour mark arrived. She made her decision. She could try to trust Lu Chen once. After all, given his strength, he could actually suppress her by force, but in the end, he still gave her a choice. The Silver Dragon King's eyes were complex. She had not expected that as the master of spirit beasts, she would entrust the hope of the Spirit Beast clan to a human divinity. She spoke in a clear voice. Fine, I believe you. I will cooperate fully with you to expand the God realm, and I also hope that after expanding the God realm, you will keep your promise and leave a place for our Spirit Beast clan in the God realm. Lu Chen smiled indifferently. I, Lu Chen, keep my word. However, let us first treat your injuries. In your current physical condition, you cannot absorb the power of the Golden Dragon King. The Golden Dragon King is violent by nature, and I cannot be bothered to waste words on him. Once I wipe out the consciousness of the Golden Dragon King, I will inject the power of the Golden Dragon King into your body, allowing the power of the Dragon God to revive within you. As his voice fell, Lu Chen began to treat the Silver Dragon King's injuries. Relying on his creation divine force, treating a severely injured God King powerhouse was not a problem at all. Chapter 348, Resurrection of the Dragon God's Power. Space at the bottom of the lake. The pure white cocoon of light had shattered, and within it, the graceful figure of the Silver Dragon King muttered in great shock, incredible. The Silver Dragon King's small face was full of disbelief. At this moment, she was no longer that illusory image, and her consciousness had returned to her main body. After Lu Chen's treatment, the injuries inside the Silver Dragon King's body, which had not healed properly for tens of thousands of years, were now completely recovered. Surging waves of divine force pulsed within her meridians. Since separating from the body of the Dragon God, the Silver Dragon King had never felt as relaxed as she did today. When the Silver Dragon King looked at Lu Chen again, there was 30% more trust in her eyes. Lu Chen had helped the Silver Dragon King recover from her internal injuries without any additional conditions, which allowed the Silver Dragon King to see Lu Chen's sincerity. She thought to herself, this human might be worthy of trust. The future of the Spirit Beast race rests on the cooperation between myself and him. The Silver Dragon King's voice was ethereal, like celestial music. Do not call me Silver Dragon King anymore. My name is Silver Dragon King. As for your name, I also know it, Lu Chen. You indeed have an unbreakable connection with our Spirit Beast race. That 100,000-year-old soft-bones rabbit named Zyro Wu being liked by you can be considered a fortunate event for our Spirit Beast race. In your plan to expand the God realm, I will fully cooperate with you. Are we leaving now? Lu Chen had no intention of wasting time deepening his relationship with the Silver Dragon King. As long as the Silver Dragon King agreed to cooperate properly, that was enough. Let's go. Afterwards, Lu Chen and the Silver Dragon King left together, but at the entrance of the space at the bottom of the lake, Dai Tian, Xingjun, these vicious beasts were blocking the way, dragging their heavily injured bodies. Dai Tian's robes were stained with blood, but in his eyes there surged a determination to perish together. Master, with me here I will never let you be taken away by anyone. Even if I die, I will die before you. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes. If Dai Tian was truly seeking death, he would not mind using one finger to crush Dai Tian and these vicious beasts to death, but for the sake of the Silver Dragon King, he let the Silver Dragon King handle it. Silver Dragon King, you speak. The Silver Dragon King nodded quickly. she had already felt a faint killing intent from Lu Chen. The other party really wanted to kill Dai Tian, Xingjun, these vicious beasts. After all, they were her subordinates, and the Silver Dragon King did not want to watch Dai Tian, Xingjun, die, so she sternly rebuked them. Why haven't you moved aside yet? Can't you see that I am following Lu Chen voluntarily? The Silver Dragon King took a deep breath and tried to keep it brief. The injuries on my body have all been healed by Lu Chen. I have reached a cooperation with him. I will fully help him expand the God Realm, and he will leave a place for our spirit beast race in the expanded God Realm. Cultivate with peace of mind and wait for my good news. When the day comes that you become gods after 1,000,000 years, you will all have the chance to ascend to the God Realm in the future, instead of just wasting time in the lower realm. The Silver Dragon King still held great authority among these vicious beasts. As soon as she spoke, the vicious beasts all moved aside. And they watched helplessly as the Silver Dragon King followed Lu Chen and left the space at the bottom of the lake. A vicious beast growled, "Dai Tian, what should we do now?" The master left with that human voluntarily, but is that human worthy of trust? Will he kick the master aside after using her, and continue to forbid our spirit beasts from entering the God Realm? Dai Tian clenched his fists, making them creak, his gaze fixed on the direction where Lu Chen and the Silver Dragon King had left, unable to recover for a long time. After a long while he said angrily, "It is because we are too weak. If we all had divine rank combat power, we could accompany the master to the God Realm. Now we can only pray that the other party keeps his promise. Let's go back and continue to absorb the origin Kai within that big bug, to strengthen ourselves sooner and become 1,000,000-year-old divine beasts. If we do not become divine beasts, we so-called vicious beasts are just ants in the face of those divinities." As soon as these words were spoken, all the vicious beasts nodded, then followed behind Dai Tian to continue absorbing the origin Kai of the Tianmeng iceworm. At the same time, Lu Chen took the Silver Dragon King and did not delay too much time on the Douluo Continent. Lu Chen tore through space and returned to the God Realm with the Silver Dragon King. Returning to the God Realm again, the Silver Dragon King's delicate body tensed up unconsciously. To some extent, the God Realm was actually the Silver Dragon King's territory. The predecessor of the God Realm was the Dragon God Realm. The predecessor of the Silver Dragon King was the Dragon God. Due to a series of changes back then, the Silver Dragon King, as the rational side of the Dragon God, was split off and was seriously injured in the battle against the 5 great God Kings. Fortunately, the Golden Dragon King was valued more by the 5 great God Kings. Taking advantage of the time when the 5 great God Kings were sealing the Golden Dragon King, the Silver Dragon King escaped from the God Realm and hid in the Lake of Life on the Douluo Continent. The Silver Dragon King had always been thinking that one day she would definitely fight back to the God Realm, but she did not expect that returning to the God Realm again would be under such circumstances. Lu Chen glanced at the Silver Dragon King and briefly described the current situation. "Asura has a grudge against me, I have killed Asura, and the Golden Dragon King took the opportunity to escape, so I have sealed the Golden Dragon King again. Now evil, good, destruction and life are guarding the Golden Dragon King. Let's hurry over. Forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks." The Silver Dragon King's expression kept changing as she listened. Asura was the strongest among the 5 great God Kings, and it was Asura who had split the Dragon God with a single sword back then. As a result, Lu Chen was telling her now that Asura was dead. The Silver Dragon King felt both a bit relieved and shocked by Lu Chen's strength and methods. The Silver Dragon King's eyes flickered, unable to look away from Lu Chen. "You guy, are you really just a simple human? Can a mortal human body give birth to a prodigy like you? In just over 10 years, from a mortal who was nothing, you have grown into an innate divine being comparable to the Dragon God, achieving the Supreme God King realm. That such an ordinary lower realm like the Douluo Continent could produce a Supreme God King is truly something I cannot fathom." Lu Chen smiled without saying a word. He was an innate Tao body, and in other worlds, he would be destined to become a great emperor or a saint. Now that he had only become a Supreme God King, the reason was that the upper limit of the Douluo God realm could only reach the Supreme God King realm. Afterwards, the two continued on their way, and in a short while, they arrived at the God-forbidden land. The evil God King opened his eyes wide. "How long has it been? You actually really found the Silver Dragon King? This is impossible. If the Silver Dragon King was really that easy to find, we wouldn't have been looking for the Silver Dragon King for so many years. Lu Chen glanced sideways at the evil God King and said coldly with disdain, "Just because you can't do it, doesn't mean I can't." Then he looked at the God of Destruction. "Senior God of Destruction, leave the rest to me." The evil God King gritted his teeth, the malice in his heart burning like a raging fire. His anger and dissatisfaction towards Lu Chen had accumulated to a very deep level. The God of Destruction flashed his figure, intentionally or unintentionally blocking the evil God King. He looked at Lu Chen and said with a hidden meaning, "I will not let anyone disturb you." Lu Chen stepped forward, walked onto the head of the Golden Dragon King, raised his hand to grasp the air, and swung it forward, blade of world destruction. In an instant, the destruction war scythe, nailed into the Golden Dragon King's head, erupted with countless brilliant saber kai. The blade light was cold and sharp, destroying everything. After a wail, the Golden Dragon King's body exploded with a bang, falling apart. Only a golden dragon-shaped origin remained. Lu Chen waved his palm, and the origin kai of heaven and earth turned into a large hand, grabbing the golden dragon-shaped origin in his hand, and finally pushed it into the Silver Dragon King's body. The Silver Dragon King had no time to feel sad for the death of the Golden Dragon King, before she had to fully absorb the origin power that belonged to the Golden Dragon King. The Golden Dragon King was the evil side of the Dragon God, inheriting the Dragon God's incomparably powerful physical body. The Silver Dragon King was the rational side of the Dragon God, inheriting the Dragon God's ability to control elements. As the origins of the Golden and Silver Dragon Kings gradually fused, the power belonging to the Dragon God began to revive within the Silver Dragon King's body. Chapter 349, Opening Heaven and Earth. A blinding golden light erupted from the Silver Dragon King's body. The light was so pure and dazzling that it was as if a radiant sun had risen within the God-forbidden land. Within the light, the Silver Dragon King bit her lip, her willow leaf eyebrows furrowed slightly, and a hint of pain appeared on her cheeks. Clearly, absorbing the origin power of the Golden Dragon King was not an easy task. The Golden Dragon King's origin power invaded the Silver Dragon King's flesh, bones, internal organs and limbs, performing an all-encompassing transformation, strengthening and remodeling of her body. The aura that erupted alone surpassed that of the four great God Kings: evil, goodness, destruction and life, touching the realm of the Supreme God King. The expressions of the four God Kings changed. The God of Destruction and the Goddess of Life, out of trust for Lu Chen, did not say much, even though they frowned. However, the evil God King did not care so much. He looked at the Silver Dragon King, summoned the scales of judgment, and looking ready to strike at any moment, he asked Lu Chen, "Lu Chen, what is the meaning of this? Without discussing it with us, and without placing a restriction on the Silver Dragon King, you have forced the Golden Dragon King's power into her body, causing the Dragon God's power to awaken within her. That is the Dragon God, an innate divine being, a supreme God King possessing the most formidable physical body and the most powerful elemental control. Allowing the Dragon God's power to awaken is something even you might not be able to suppress." Hearing the evil God King's questioning, Lu Chen's good mood was ruined. He cast a cold glance over, and the divine force pressure of a supreme God King, like a mountain collapsing and the seas overturning, pressed down on the evil God King's shoulders, causing his originally straight body to involuntarily bend forward. "Evil God King, you talk too much. I naturally have absolute certainty in doing this. I do not wish to hear any more questioning now, otherwise, HMPH. The evil God King was forced to bend his waist, veins bulging on his forehead. As one of the two oldest God Kings in the God realm, when had he ever suffered such grievances? The anger in his chest rushed straight to his brain, and his evil divine force was also stimulated to the extreme. Driven by hatred and malice, that pitch-black evil divine force reached a point where it could no longer be suppressed. Just as the evil God King was preparing to act regardless of the consequences, the God King of goodness held him back. That pure white divine force of goodness was injected into his body, purifying the evil God King's hatred and malice, helping him regain his rationality. Seeing the evil God King's eyes regain clarity, the God King of goodness shook her head with a grave expression. The evil God King followed the gaze of the God King of goodness, glanced at the indifferent Lu Chen, and swept his eyes over the God of Destruction and the Goddess of Life. It was like a basin of cold water poured over his head, making him thoroughly sober up. If they acted now, they would not only have to face Lu Chen, who who was at the level of a supreme god king, but also the god of destruction and the goddess of life, who were also at the god king level. Even though the evil god king and the god king of goodness were the oldest god kings in the god realm, they would not have a good ending in such a situation. The evil god king gave up his intention to act and silently retracted the super divine artifact, the scales of judgment, as well as that pitch-black evil divine force. He did not speak again. He had essentially conceded defeat. Roar! At this moment, an incomparably long dragon roar emanated from the silver dragon king's body. Amidst the light alternating between gold and silver, the silver dragon king's originally petite body suddenly expanded. 30 meters, 50 meters, 100 meters, 300 meters, 500 meters, 1,000 meters. In just a few breaths, the silver dragon king transformed into a massive dragon over 1,000 meters long, as towering as a mountain. Her mere existence caused ripples to spread through space. Through the alternating gold and silver light, one could see that the silver dragon king's body surface was covered with a layer of thick scales, interlocking to form an airtight absolute defense. The scales had a golden base color, but shimmered with a diamond-like crystalline texture. The feeling it gave people was incomparably magnificent. Seeing it made one gasp in admiration, unable to tear their eyes away. Beautiful, too beautiful. It was not just beautiful, but also possessed unparalleled power. The silver dragon king's fusion with the golden dragon king's power caused the dragon god's power to revive, allowing her to break through to the realm of the supreme god king. After sensing that oppressive aura, the evil god king, the god king of goodness, the god of destruction, and the goddess of life all looked like they were facing a formidable enemy, raising their vigilance to the highest level. After all, they still had vivid memories of the dragon god's madness back then. That scene was too terrifying. A supreme god king destroying everything regardless of consequences had nearly caused the original dragon god realm to be destroyed in an instant. As the initial fusion of the golden and silver dragon king's origin was completed, the silver dragon king opened her eyes. Through those eyes, Chen knew that the master within this body was still the silver dragon king. Neither the golden dragon king's evil will nor the will belonging to the dragon god had awakened within the silver dragon king's body. Chen nodded inwardly. It seemed that, just as he had expected, by forcing the golden dragon king's origin into the silver dragon king's body, the one who ultimately occupied the main consciousness was the silver dragon king. Chen spoke again to confirm, "Silver Dragon King, now that you have restored the Dragon God's Supreme God King realm, our agreement takes effect. Now I will open heaven and earth, split the chaos, and upgrade the Douluo God realm plane. What you need to do is, at the critical moment, sacrifice yourself to the Douluo God realm to completely stabilize the Douluo God realm after its upgrade. Cooperate well and I will have a chance to save your soul. If you have other thoughts, then I will have no choice but to kill you and blood sacrifice you to the Douluo God realm. If it comes to that step, I will not waste any effort to save your soul." The Silver Dragon King's eyes flickered a few times. After restoring the Dragon God's Supreme God King realm, relying on her incomparably formidable physical body and ultimate control over elements, she might not actually be weaker than Chen now. But the Silver Dragon King was still the Silver Dragon King. Without the constraints of the Golden Dragon King's evil will, she remained the Spirit Beast co-ruler who cared for the Spirit Beast clan. For the future of the Spirit Beast clan, the Silver Dragon King, filled with great love, made her decision. Even if she had to give up this power belonging to the Dragon God, she would not hesitate. The Silver Dragon King exhaled, creating a wind, her voice rumbling like thunder. "I, the Silver Dragon King, will not break the agreement I made. As long as you can keep your promise and leave a place for the Spirit Beast clan in the new God realm, I am willing to sacrifice the power belonging to the Dragon God." Chen nodded with a smile, "Then let's begin." Chen moved his divine thought, and 7-colored light burst out from his body. The power of creation quickly condensed behind him, turning into a giant Dharma idol 1,000 meters tall. The surging pressure spread out like ocean waves. The two behemoths, he and the Silver Dragon King, just by standing there, already made the God King level evil God King, the God King of goodness, the God of destruction, and the Goddess of life feel a sense of suffocation. This was not all. Chen leaped backward, his body merging into his Dharma idol. The Dharma idol, which originally had a blurred face, saw its features quickly become clear after his physical body merged into it. It was exactly Chen's face, scaled up proportionally. Scythe come, a voice as dull as thunder exploded. The Destruction War Scythe fell into the hand of the Dharma idol. Under the infusion of the power of creation, the Destruction War Scythe changed rapidly, becoming a supergiant scythe measuring 10,000 meters in size. Lu Chen's Dharma idol held the enlarged Destruction War Scythe, using the scythe as an axe, and let out a roar as he slashed toward the chaos outside the heavens. Rumble, lightning flashed and thunder rolled, a gale blew, and heavenly fire scattered like meteors. Under the slash of the Destruction War Scythe, the originally grey Chaos Kai was actually split open, creating a long, narrow crack. Within the crack, the grey Chaos Kai surged and billowed, transforming into various elemental energies of earth, fire, water, and wind, gushing toward the God-forbidden land like a fountain. Nourished by these elemental energies of earth, fire, water, and wind, the originally dead silent God-forbidden land began to show different changes. Although the changes were still very faint, they were captured by Lu Chen's divine thought. Lu Chen was invigorated, his mouth constantly roaring. With every shout, Lu Chen swung the Destruction War Scythe, like a woodcutter chopping firewood or a farmer tilling land, slashing at the Chaos Kai again and again. The Chaos Kai outside the heavens was simply inexhaustible. As Lu Chen continuously slashed with force, the endless elemental energies of earth, fire, water, and wind began to make the God-forbidden land brim with vitality. Opening heaven and earth, this was the great power belonging to a supreme God King. Chapter 350, New God Realm. Origin Kai like a tide. In this God-forbidden land, where the world's energy has been exhausted, we have finally ushered in a day where Origin Kai gushes forth like a tidal wave once again. I did not misjudge him, I truly did not misjudge him. God of Destruction raised his palm and grabbed a handful of energy with various attributes of earth, fire, water, and wind. He was trembling slightly with excitement, his joy evident on his face. Goddess of Life pursed her lips and smiled, her eyes filled with joy. As a divinity who controls the origin of life, she could clearly perceive that the environment of the God-forbidden land was rapidly improving, reaching the point where it could fully support the birth of elementary life. Do not underestimate this. How many dead stars and waste stars are there, where even elementary life cannot be born? Now that the God-forbidden land can give birth to elementary life, it means that as long as it continues to evolve, high-level life will sooner or later be born. Even with their active intervention, they could skip the long evolutionary process and directly transform this God-forbidden land into a fairyland paradise. She said in a gentle voice, "Little Zai, your vision is more far-sighted than mine. I have hesitated more than once in the past, wondering whether Lu Chen, who obtained the seed of life and the seed of destruction, would be good or bad for the God realm. Now it seems that your choice was correct. Lu Chen, who fused the seed of life and the seed of destruction, has brought new life to the God realm, not destruction." God of Destruction laughed heartily, his expression proud. All-in is a form of wisdom. The investment we made in Lu Chen in the past has now yielded tenfold and hundredfold returns. While God of Destruction and Goddess of Life were chatting and laughing, Evil God King was grinding his teeth so hard they were about to shatter. He looked at Lu Chen, then at Silver Dragon King, his emotions churning violently. Malicious thoughts emerged in his mind. This is a good opportunity. Lu Chen must be consuming a massive amount of divine force to create the world. If Silver Dragon King takes the opportunity to launch a sneak attack on Lu Chen, she will surely be able to severely injure him in one blow. After Lu Chen is severely injured and retaliates, he will be able to severely injure Silver Dragon King as well. Once Lu Chen and Silver Dragon King are both heavily injured, there will be an opportunity to eliminate these two scourges of the God realm together. How detestable. Why hasn't Silver Dragon King made a move yet? Does she really believe Lu Chen's promise? A human and a spirit beast, why would they have such a foundation of trust? Evil God King was truly worthy of the title Evil God King. Even at such a critical juncture as the creation of the world, his evil thoughts kept popping up one after another. But reality would not develop according to his wishes. Silver Dragon King felt at ease. Since she had promised Lu Chen, she would never go back on her word. She watched Lu Chen create the world, splitting the chaos, without the slightest thought of launching a sneak attack. She was even eager to step forward and help. After all, according to her agreement with Lu Chen, the Spirit Beast clan would also have a place in the future God realm.
It's hard.
Lu Chen was sweating profusely, shouting continuously. The destruction war scythe in his hand never stopped moving, slashing through the chaotic air currents with each strike, causing energy with various attributes of earth, fire, water, and wind to gush out like a fountain. The sky grew higher, the land grew wider, as if the fog had finally dispersed. In the grey God-forbidden land, when the earth attribute energy collided with the fire attribute energy, it exploded into endless crimson magma. When blown by the wind and doused by water, the magma solidified, turning into an endless, undulating black continent. On the continent there were high mountains, plains, hills, deserts. Rain fell pitter-pat, nourishing the land and gathering into rivers and lakes. A brand new world appeared before Lu Chen's eyes. Lu Chen was panting with exhaustion, his divine force more than half depleted, but looking at the world he had created, he felt a great sense of accomplishment. At this moment, the sky was 90,000 li high, and Lu Chen finally stopped. As soon as the movements in his hands ceased, the chaotic air currents from outside the sky rushed back again, seemingly wanting to crush the world that Lu Chen had created. Seeing this, Lu Chen shouted loudly, "Silver Dragon King, now is the time. It is time for you to sacrifice yourself." Silver Dragon King was invigorated. After only a moment of hesitation, she resolutely sacrificed her own origin of life. Roar! Silver Dragon King let out a dragon roar toward the sky. Against the backdrop of strong winds, heavy rain, thunder, and lightning, a brilliant golden light erupted from within her body, revealing a diamond-like crystalline texture. The surging divine force fluctuations, pushed to the extreme, turned into a beam of light that shot into the sky. The brilliant golden beam expanded in all directions, stirring up circles of golden ripples that spread outward. That was the origin of life belonging to the dragon god, the supreme god king. Under the stimulation of the origin of life, the previously barren black continent began to see vegetation growing wildly. Various exotic flowers and grasses, comparable to the level of immortal herbs, blue, green, purple, red, could be seen everywhere on the continent. Saplings that were only as thick as an arm just a moment ago grew rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. In no time at all, they grew to tens of meters high. Ancient trees towered with lush foliage, their crowns like canopies, emitting waves of clear sky, giving people a sense of refreshment, active thinking, and doubled comprehension ability. Beneath the earth's veins, various rare spiritual ores and springs grew wildly, pushing mountains to rise from the ground as if they were the bones and blood of this black continent. Birds chirped, beasts roared. The first batch of living creatures in this world was also born from forests, grasslands, valleys, and hills under the nourishment of the dragon god's origin. Although they were still very young, each of them possessed a powerful bloodline and infinite potential. Above the 9 heavens, the brilliant golden beam of light that shot into the sky transformed into a dome-like golden shield. It looked only half a foot thick, but it had a crystalline texture, as if it were Silver Dragon King's layer of dragon scales. Like an atmosphere, it resisted the constant erosion of the chaotic air currents from outside the sky. Seeing that the chaotic air currents were blocked, Lu Chen was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. He then circulated his innate technique and began to recover his depleted divine force. At the same time, the 1,000-meter-tall Dharma form dissipated into a burst of colorful light, revealing Lu Chen's true body within. Lu Chen descended and finally landed on a mountain. At the same time, he unleashed the divine skill of the Blue Silver Emperor, Reincarnation Blue Silver Emperor. His divine thoughts spread out like ocean waves, searching the sky and earth like an airtight net. He found Silver Dragon King's soul, protected it, and channeled his creation divine force into her soul. Fortunately, the soul is very complete. This way, after I resurrect you, your talent and potential can be preserved to the greatest extent. While speaking, Lu Chen placed Silver Dragon King's soul into the reincarnation Blue Silver Emperor. In Silver Dragon King's soul, the power belonging to the dragon god has been completely sacrificed. Even if you cultivate to become a god in the future, it is impossible to become the dragon god. In the current god realm, the god position of Asura god is vacant. After you are resurrected, you can go and strive for the Asura god position. This can be considered compensation for your sacrifice. As his voice fell, Lu Chen cast this reincarnation Blue Silver Emperor into the mountain beneath his feet. This mountain was in the shape of a giant dragon, like a giant dragon lying on the ground. It was the highest peak on the Black Continent. The mountain was rich in origin kai, with countless exotic flowers, grasses, and rare beasts. This mountain was exactly what Silver Dragon King's body had transformed into after her sacrifice. Lu Chen stood on the top of the mountain, which was the top of the giant dragon's head. He looked out into the distance, watching the endless primeval forest, with clouds and mist drifting, all formed from pure origin Kai of the world. In this primeval forest, if one were to casually pull a blade of grass and throw it onto the Douluo Continent, it would be a top-grade immortal herb, capable of helping people undergo a rebirth and cleanse their marrow. A blessed land, nothing more. Chapter 351, Settling Old Scores. This is the atmosphere the God realm should have, vibrant, full of energy, with vast heavens and earth, and without that feeling of restraint. It's wonderful. Let's call this continent the primal continent from now on. After all, it is the first continent of the new God realm, and the place where the Silver Dragon King sacrificed herself. The origin Kai and immortal spiritual energy here are the most abundant. Cultivating in this place, even a dog could become a god. Eating a few blades of wild grass by the roadside and refining it would be enough to form the foundation to become a god. In the future, whenever you have nothing to do, just pull up a few blades of wild grass and toss them into the 108 lower realms under the jurisdiction of the God realm. Anyone who has the opportunity to obtain these wild grasses will be able to become a god as long as they don't die. In the future, the number of divinities in the new God realm will explode. Lu Chen said jokingly. At this moment, the god of destruction, the goddess of life, the god king of goodness, and the god king of evil arrived one after another at Lu Chen's location. The god of destruction looked excited, his eyes burning as he looked at Lu Chen. Lu Chen, you really did it. You broke and then rebuilt in this god-forbidden land, opening up a brand new god realm. This is a feat that not even the dragon god could accomplish. By the way, the Silver Dragon King sacrificed herself for this new god realm. It seems the rules of the god realm need to be changed. We can allow spirit beasts to become gods and come to the god realm. After all, you promised the Silver Dragon King. As soon as these words were spoken, before Lu Chen could say anything, the god king of evil jumped out and sternly scolded. How can we allow those inherently evil spirit beasts to become gods? If we let those spirit beasts come to the god realm, once they become powerful, they will inevitably shake the status of the god realm committee. In short, this god king absolutely disagrees. Lu Chen, it was you who promised the Silver Dragon King. This god king did not make any promises to the Silver Dragon King. As long as this god king does not nod, no spirit beast will ever be able to come to the god realm. The god of destruction frowned. Isn't the god king of evil making Lu Chen break his promise? A man's word is worth 1,000 gold. Just as the god of destruction was about to argue with the god king of evil, Lu Chen did not tolerate him and directly took action. He punched the god king of evil in the face. With a crack, the bones in the god king of evil's face caved in, his nasal bridge broke, and several teeth flew out. A clear fist mark was left on his originally handsome face. Lu Chen's gaze was cold, and his voice was flat. God King of Evil, I have tolerated you for a long time. Look at yourself, the word evil is written on your name, yet you have the face to call others inherently evil. I think you are the one who is inherently evil. From the moment I arrived at the God realm, you have been protecting the Asura god and trying to cause me trouble. You should be secretly happy that I haven't come to settle scores with you. Now you still have the face to come out and whine. Do you know how to write the word shame? This new god realm was opened up by me. What does it have to do with you? Let's settle our new and old grudges today. In my opinion, the new god realm is big enough to hold spirit beast divinities, but it cannot tolerate a black-hearted god king like you. While Lu Chen spoke, his fists fell like raindrops on the god king of evil's face and body. Each punch broke the god king of evil's bones, making cracking sounds, causing his internal organs to tremble violently, and making him spit out mouthfuls of blood. The god king of evil did not react in time. He was beaten into a daze. It was the god king of goodness who acted, summoning the super divine artifact, the heart of goodness, to forcibly control Lu Chen for a split second, taking the opportunity to rescue the god king of evil. But after the god king of goodness rescued the god king of evil, her face turned pale instantly, and she spat out bright red blood. The reason was that she had suffered a backlash. At the same time, Lu Chen stared fixedly at the heart of goodness, in the god king of goodness's hand, and said coldly, "What a god king of goodness, what a heart of goodness. To be able to become a god king, you are indeed not simple. the heart of goodness can actually interfere with my emotions. In that instant, it dissolved the killing intent and malice in my heart completely, making me unable to raise any desire to fight, and even making me feel that beating the God King of Evil was wrong. If my realm was not deep enough, I fear I would have fallen into that feeling of guilt and been unable to extricate myself. God King of Goodness, it seems you are the #1 controlled divinity in the God realm. Compared to you, the sea god's boundless sea tide is simply child's play. The God King of Goodness's face was pale, her aura withered. She reached out to support the God King of Evil, her voice weak. After all, there is a difference of a major realm. There is an insurmountable chasm between a God King and a supreme God King. This God King controlled your emotions for only a split second before you easily broke free and caused me to suffer such a backlash. The God King of Evil gasped for air, his mouth twisted, eyes askew, and nose collapsed as he screamed. Chen, you dare to lay a hand on me. I am a veteran of the God Realm Committee and one of the 2 oldest God Kings in the God Realm. I will never let you go. Goodness, attack with me. If we can't teach him a lesson today, where will the face of us 2 God Kings go? The God King of Goodness had no choice. Even though she knew she couldn't beat Chen, the God King of Evil had lost his mind with rage, and she couldn't abandon him. Your affairs are my affairs. Even if it is a mountain of blades or a sea of fire, we will face it together. With a boom, the God King of Evil erupted with jet-black divine force. He raised his hand, and the scales of judgment appeared in his hand. The divine force surged into the scales of judgment. Judgment of sin. A beam of black light gushed forward and landed on Chen in an instant. The rule of these scales of judgment is to judge the enemy's crimes and then forcibly weaken the enemy's strength based on their crimes. If the enemy is a heinous person, even if they are of the same God King realm, they would be instantly weakened into a mortal. The God King of Evil and the God King of Goodness, as the 2 top God Kings of the God realm, possess very powerful abilities. Unfortunately, Chen had just opened up the new God realm. In this new God realm, he had no crimes on him. He even possessed the great karma and great luck of opening the heavens. To judge Chen, the entire new God realm would not allow it. In the next instant, the God King of Evil's scales of judgment erupted with blinding golden light, which landed on the God King of Evil, dissolving all of his strength. The God King of Evil was reverse judged by his own super divine artifact, the scales of judgment. How could this be? The God King of Evil screamed. Chen laughed. You are worthy of judging me. You have made no contribution to this heaven and earth, yet you have the nerve to point fingers at me. Aren't you high and mighty, known as the oldest God King in the God realm? Then I will cast you and the God King of Goodness into the lower realm, letting you suffer the pain of reincarnation for generation after generation, experiencing birth, aging, sickness, and death, never to cultivate and become a god again, never to return to the God realm. As his voice fell, Chen summoned the Destruction War Scythe and slashed out, unleashing the divine skill blade of world destruction. The infinitely brilliant blade light instantly tore apart the bodies of the God King of Goodness and the God King of Evil, leaving the 2 God Kings with only their remnant souls. At this moment, Chen first gathered the remnant souls of the 2 God Kings, tore through space, and cast them into the lower realm, sending them to be reincarnated in the lower realm to experience the pain of birth, aging, sickness, and death. Then he put away the 2 God Kings' super divine artifacts, the scales of judgment and the heart of goodness, thinking to himself, the evil God position can be tried by Zhuking, and the goodness God position can be tried by Zyro Wu. I will give them special instruction, personally guide them for a period of time, and inheriting the God King God position should be no problem. Fulfilling wishes, grand finale. Chen acted too quickly, neatly and decisively handling the God King of Evil and the God King of Goodness, leaving no opportunity for the God of Destruction and the Goddess of Life to intervene. The Goddess of Life had a very gentle personality, and at this moment she sighed repeatedly and said, Chen, why must you be so ruthless? As veterans of the God Realm Committee, the God King of Goodness and the God King of Evil have made significant contributions to maintaining order in the God Realm. Now you have slain the Asura God King, torn apart the bodies of the God King of Goodness and the God King of Evil, and cast their souls into the lower realm. The former God Realm Committee is now left with only me and Zyro Zai. Even if we add you, I fear it will be difficult to effectively manage the god realm. The goddess of life was gentle, but the god of destruction was much more rigid. He had no objections to Lu Chen's actions. In my opinion, Lu Chen did well. The god king of evil and the god king of goodness have been high and mighty for too long. They have become detached from the common people of the lower realm and are resting on their past laurels without any desire to improve. Do divinities like them deserve to continue leading the gods of the god realm? HMPH, Lu Chen didn't kill them. He only sent them to the lower realm for reincarnation and training, to experience the birth, aging, sickness and death, poverty and illness of the common people. This is already an act of mercy towards them. They deserve to be thoroughly reformed. Facing the goddess of life and the god of destruction, Lu Chen set aside all his temper. After all, these two had truly shown him kindness. Lu Chen smiled slightly and said, "Two seniors, it is true that I was a bit impulsive, but I will take full responsibility. I hope the two seniors can help me organize the original divinities in the god realm, so that they can each shoulder their respective responsibilities. In the new god realm, I will not allow anyone to rest on their laurels and coast by, thinking that just because one has become a god, one can indulge in pleasure and stop progressing. That is absolutely unacceptable. From now on, the god realm must have strict attendance and performance reviews. We will set work requirements for all first class, second class, and third class gods. Those who meet the requirements will be rewarded, and those who do not will be punished. The gods in our god realm are not shackles placed upon the common people of the lower realm. Since we absorb the power of faith from the common people of the lower realm, we must take responsibility for solving their problems and relieving their burdens. The new god realm is different from the old one. The new god realm is large enough. I hope that in the future, more geniuses who achieve godhood can undergo ascension from the lower realm. We must give hope to the geniuses of the lower realm. Otherwise, if they think the path to godhood is closed, they will lose their drive to strive forward, easily become complacent, turn lazy, and no longer be willing to actively cultivate." The god of destruction nodded repeatedly, appearing to fully agree. He had long been dissatisfied with the complacent and decadent atmosphere of the god realm, but since the god king of evil and the god king of goodness were leading the decadence, he was powerless to change it alone. Now that the god king of evil and the god king of goodness had been cast into the lower realm, and the Asura god was dead, with Lu Chen's full support, the god of destruction could finally go all out to reorganize the god realm. "I'm going now." As the words of the god of destruction fell, he took the goddess of life and returned to the old god realm. It seemed those divinities of the old god realm would have no peaceful days ahead. Lu Chen watched the backs of the god of destruction and the goddess of life disappear into the distance, then joined his fingers into a sword gesture and tapped his own brow, opening his portable space. Around his body, spatial ripples suddenly appeared. Zyro Wu Zhujuking, Dugubo Luan Rose, Ayin A Ru, and others appeared in the god realm along with the spatial ripples. After releasing everyone, Lu Chen said with a smile, "Welcome to the god realm. From now on, this will be our new home." After emerging, Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuking immediately surrounded Lu Chen, checking him up and down to ensure he wasn't injured. Only then did they each breathe a sigh of relief. "Zyro Wu, boss Lu Chen, it feels like not much time has passed, and you've already solved the trouble in the god realm. That Asura god didn't give you any trouble, did he?" Zhu Zhuking looked around curiously. "So this is the god realm. It feels so primitive, dense forests, lush and green, with the energy of heaven and earth so thick it has condensed into clouds and mist. And why can't we see any other divinities?" Lu Chen kept it brief, explaining all his experiences since entering the god realm to Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuking. Amidst the astonished gazes of Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuking, Lu Chen took out the divine artifacts of the god king of evil and the god king of goodness, the scales of judgment and the heart of goodness, and handed these two divine artifacts to Zhu Zhuking and Zyro Wu respectively. "Zhuking, this is the scales of judgment, the divine artifact of the god king of evil. I will inject the divinity seed of the god king of evil into your body. Work hard to fuse it with yourself and strive to become the god king of evil in the future." "Zyro Wu, this is the heart of goodness, the divine artifact of the god king of goodness. Just like Zhuking, I will inject the divinity seed of the god king of goodness into your body, and you must strive to become the god king of goodness. I promise to find you better god positions. These two are god king positions. Cherish this opportunity well." Zyro Wu and Zhu Zhuking said firmly in unison, "I will definitely become the god king of goodness, god king of evil." Lu Chen nodded and looked at Dugubo. "Big brother Dugu, this new god realm has abundant energy. First, try to see if you can cultivate to godhood on your own and become the poison god or the mountain god. If that doesn't work, I will find another god position for you. Douluo laughed excitedly. No problem. If I can't become a god on my own, I will definitely come find you again. By the way, why don't I see Yan Yan? Chen replied, when we first arrived in the god realm, Yan Yan was absorbing the celestial Kai of the god realm. With the old sea god looking after her, there won't be any danger. Afterward, he turned his head to look at his parents. Dad, Mom, you are still only spirit grandmasters, and you are still very far from becoming gods. I will arrange something for you in the future. Lu An and Rose were already very fortunate to be able to come to the god realm and had no demands at all. They would do whatever Lu Chen said. Finally, there were Ah Yin and A Ru. Lu Chen looked at them. On this primitive continent, due to the nourishment of the dragon god origin, many plants and animals have been born. Ah Yin, I want you to manage these numerous plants, and you shall become the plant god. Aru, you shall manage these numerous animals, and you shall become the animal god. Lu Chen had assigned a good position to his own people. From now on, they would take root in the god realm. 5 years later, through Lu Chen's careful cultivation, Zyro Wu successfully inherited the god position of goodness and became the new god king of goodness, while Zhu Zhuqing successfully inherited the god position of evil and became the new god king of evil. At the same time in this year, Lu Chen turned 20. In the god realm, Lu Chen held the grandest wedding with Zyro Wu, Zhu Zhuqing, and Du Guyan. That night, Lu Chen finally fulfilled his wish and did the things he had never dared to do before: making love, making love, making love, making love, making love, making love, making love. And that is it for today's chapter. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an upload. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts about this story. Also, make sure to check out my other channel, AI Otaku Studio, for more audiobook content, headphone book sparkles. And with that, this story has finally come to an end. Thank you to everyone who stayed with this audiobook journey until the final chapter. I truly appreciate all your support, views, likes, and comments throughout this series. It took a lot of effort to bring this story to you, and I'm grateful that you joined me until the very end. Thank you once again for watching. See you in the next audiobook adventure. Read.